Soup! Hello, everybody. Hello, just another red shirt.
Hey, Jedi Bill, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing real well.
Good to hear that. Good to hear that.
What's up for tonight?
What's up? Well, we talk about some comics and other things. You know, the usual.
All right.
We might have some comic book people come in here to promote their comics. Hopefully.
Oh, cool.
I got some friends who trying to get their books out there sold and from Indiegogo and whatnot. Like Hex Allen and a few others and a few other good folks, you know.
Awesome.
And hello, Captain Trek. Good to see you. As you see, I have my thumbnail. I had the DC characters, bunch of super friends in there. I don't know if I can get going through and name all those because there are quite a bit, you know, Superman and Batman and a whole bunch of others. You know, the DC comic books that's another industry that has been falling in on itself, and unlike Hollyweird. Oh wow, we got Eli-hoo-hoo. What's up, Eli-hoo-hoo?
Oh, not much. I heard you talking about comics.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the latest Batman controversy?
No. What?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you didn't hear about this. DC has told the producers of Harley Quinn, the cartoon show, to cut out a scene where Batman is performing oral sex on Catwoman. I mean, technically they're right. Cats do licking, not bats.
Huh.
I know, bad joke.
Wow. Oh.
No, I mean, Kevin Smith even had the best arguments. He made a comic with Oliver Queen going down on the Black Canary, performing oral sex on the Canary, and that passed by the censors.
Good morning, Yvette. Good to see you.
Hey, Yvette, just talking about comics.
Morning, Yvette.
So when I popped and heard oral sex, I'm like, comics? Oral sex? What?
I never read those comics. I wish I had, but I never did.
Oy vey.
Yeah. Really.
Well, what else did we complain about? First, you started with boob armor. Now you can't have oral sex in a comic or a cartoon? Come on.
Well, there is a good precedence for not being. I mean, gee, yeah.
What?
What?
So what you guys been up to? Hey, don't say 5'10".
What's that? No. Just the normal stuff, things, you know.
Well,
You know,
working today, watching Castlevania with Mrs. Redshirt after dinner.
Season 3?
We just finished season 2, actually. We'll start season 3 next.
Oh, okay.
We're catching up.
Oh, okay.
What, is that on a Netflix?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a Netflix anime.
Oh.
And it's the only anime I've ever seen that I'd watch, so I've been enjoying it.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah. There's only one or two characters with great big Rankin Bass eyes on them, so, you know.
I was surprised. I'm like, okay, how are they going to fuck this up this time?
Please don't tell me the vampires in that sparkle.
No, they don't.
No,
Vampires in that are
God.
pretty badass. They are. They're pretty badass.
They move like a vampire should.
Yep. And one of them looks like a Viking. Looks like a Viking vampire.
You don't have your classic Dracula Hollywood vampire type, okay? It's Castlevania. Real vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad news. Very bad news. More like the Dresden Files black court vampires. Very, very nasty pieces of work.
I'm broke. I'm broke right now. No, hey, mask mandates are lifting, okay? So that means we can actually go on dates now. So, hey, single guys, you can now hit the gym and work with the other arms so they both match.
That's right. All right, now, left-handed curls. Ready?
But I'm left-handed. Sorry, right-handed curls.
Yeah, all of you lefties, right-handed curls.
Oh, crap. Oh, there it is. Oh, I thought I lost my lighter.
Have either of you watched? And I was told to watch this by my audience. The new zombie movie that's on Netflix, Army of the Dead.
Yes, I've seen it, and I have some very odd questions about it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
It's like Zack Snyder did that one.
Okay.
Well, now there's an advertisement.
Yeah.
How the hell did those refugees survive the atomic blast? They were close enough to not only get irradiated, but killed within minutes of the initial blast because of radiation. Zombies having sex? Oh my gosh. No. No. Too much back storyline. Get on with the damn zombies. That's my opinion on the movie.
Oh, yeah. Oh. I think Dave Bautista just done a good job transitioning into the acting realm. What do you think?
Yeah, you can actually see some emotion in this character.
Yeah.
Sorry, who's Dave Bautista?
He was a wrestler from the WWE.
He got famous for playing Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, that doesn't ring a bell. I think I've seen somebody talking about this movie though, and talking about his role. And yeah, if that's what I'm remembering, he actually did manage some reaction and some acting. He managed to act in at least a couple of occasions. So more power to him. That's more than Chuck Norris could say for his first 5 movies.
Wow.
I still say Chuck Norris is a wussy.
He could probably kick your butt. You want to find
He's
out?
He's what, 76, 77 years old? I can kick his ass.
I'd take that bet.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's probably more limber than you are.
Fuck Logan Paul. I'll fight Chuck Norris. It's not 1976 anymore, dude.
Yeah, it's not.
1 year. Only 1 year. You lost in 77.
Chuck Norris will probably kick your ass with just a stare. Even at 76, I mean, he's my father's age. Yeah, 76. Is that? Oh, I don't know if that's what his age is, but
Is this the reason why Waldo's hiding because of Chuck Norris?
Who?
Waldo?
Waldo.
Where in the world is Waldo?
Yeah.
Hiding
Oh.
from Chuck Norris.
I feel sorry for his mom, man. I really feel sorry for Waldo's mom.
What's up, Tiki Dim? Chuck Norris would break the front of your. Love that.
Yummy. Hey, Tyson had an ear? I'll have a toe. Finger sandwiches? No, a little toe jam here and there. A little peanut butter. Hey, that's good. Better than wax. And what are you still doing up, Tiki? Don't forget, Tiki, you still have to wear a mask on public transportation. Everywhere else is free tomorrow.
Hello, Robert Green. Good to see you. What's up, people?
Yeah, that's going to be weird tomorrow. I'm going to go on my very first scooter ride without wearing a face mask. I wonder how many bugs I'm going to get in my teeth. What?
What?
It's been a while.
Yeah, you haven't been around the soup. Of course, the soup hasn't been around that much either.
Yeah. Of course, sometimes when I actually want to come on, neighbors' music too loud, I can't even hear myself, or I have very shitty connection. And right now, it's a window. There's a window.
Hello, the Truth Apocalypse. Good to see you.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Every once in a while around here, the connection goes to hell, and I can't even watch a stream. Never mind think about getting on one, or for that matter, modding it. I've had chat suspended on me in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Spotify will even pause on me with a bad connection. I'm like, come on, you're supposed to loop the track the song so it doesn't do that. You're supposed to buffer 10 to 15 seconds ahead of time, so in case I lose connection for a brief moment. Come on.
Right.
That's why I got Spotify. The other services don't do that. And no, I do not pay for Spotify. I still get the free service. Commercial.
Welcome, Yvette.
Hello, Yvette.
Que pasta? And she froze. Oh, there she is.
All right. What do you mean, where am I? Right next to you.
Greetings from the future, I guess. I mean,
Yes.
Bill, would you please swap Elihu and Yvette?
yeah.
Thank you.
There we go.
On top of Yvette.
That better, darling?
Oh, that's much better.
Hey, I turn on my cam and give you a glare, but I have no shirt on, okay?
Why? Okay. I don't
Because it's warm right. It's
Wait a
warm
minute.
right.
Wait.
It is
Would
warm
you-
right now. It's 64 degrees right now in my place. It's warm.
Would it feel better? Would you feel better coming on camera if I take mine off?
Of course.
Yeah, I thought you would. Yeah.
You said
Of
a jerk.
course.
I think we'd all feel better at that.
Yeah.
Are you wearing a Jurassic Park shirt? It looks like. Yeah.
Oh, God, I know.
Jurassic Park is frightening.
Oh, God,
In the
that's what I
dark.
Wow.
All the dinosaurs
That's
are
vintage.
running wild.
There you go. And I throw
There
my
it
coffee
is.
everywhere. God, I got coffee everywhere now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's only 6 o'clock, so 6:20 in the morning. So
Yes, I needed another coffee.
oh.
Of course you
Yeah. I always need coffee. I've got to go out at 7, so I've sort of bobbed around. Chris,
What? Did you...
my poor TARDIS covered in coffee.
You got more on the
no.
inside. Keep scrubbing. You got more coffee on the inside.
No, I haven't. It's glass.
Oh, the door's closed. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's glass. You're right. Don't panic. Have you seen Dee's new door?
Who?
I have not seen it yet.
Dee?
I want to see it.
I've got that on my bedroom door, actually. It's the same one.
I'm glad he has a double sticker for the frame itself and not just the door.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks much better when you've got the whole thing covered.
Yeah.
But it looks really good. Right, okay. Try that again, shall I? Don't make me stand up again.
Okay. We won't make you stand up. Sorry.
You'll be okay in the UK. Okay.
All right. Right. Okay. I'm back.
I'm front.
Nice.
Yes, my Jurassic Park. The first one. I've got them all.
Yeah.
And I've all got all the Jurassic World ones as well. And I've got all the aliens.
It's considered retro now. I mean,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park came out in what, 93?
There's a new one coming out soon.
Yeah, there is.
Well, yeah. The new stuff that they've been doing.
Yeah, and the dinosaurs do have feathers.
Yeah. Well, we've learned.
Yeah, the T-Rex has feathers this time.
This is the ones where they're just all the dinosaurs are wreaking havoc in the world.
Yes,
humans.
because it's following on from them letting them loose. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but hey, anything with a dinosaur in is good.
I just wish they'd make a T-Rex look like a real T-Rex. A T-Rex is supposed to look like a giant chicken, covered in a whole bunch of feathers.
Well, that's what they're planning to do, Elihu.
A giant chicken?
Well, sort of. The raptors are going to be the most interesting because they recently found some fossil remains with raptors with feathers, so they should be able to get them more accurate. Although,
good.
I still like the raptors from the original. I want a pet raptor.
I think I had dinosaur books that depicted raptors with feathers when I was a kid. So
yeah,
they've known that true raptors were featherless.
What's his name? Dino Dan?
They probably started off featherless and then it sort of... I don't know. I'm not a paleontologist, so I just find it all fascinating.
I forgot this paleontologist. He's a cool guy. He's got this punk rock. He's a punk rocker, but he's a PhD in paleontology. He's one of the world's foremost experts on brachiosauruses, and I forgot his name. He helped prove the feathers on T-Rexes. I can't remember the guy's name. You see him, he looks like a punk rocker. People don't take him seriously.
Okay.
Like
that's the whole point. He's like, I'm me.
The paleontologist that I heard inspired Sam Neill's character is Robert Bacher, who wrote a book that I've read several times called The Dinosaur Heresies, and he finished up the book with, if it bothers you that the dinosaurs have gone extinct, don't worry, they haven't. They'll be migrating again this year.
Yeah, look at the birds, look at the crocodiles, look at the sharks. Hello?
Yeah, well, especially the birds.
It's the birds.
If you've ever seen an emu or one of those flightless birds with the big, strong legs,
cassowary,
or cassowary,
oh, I hate those fuckers. Those
or an ostrich. Although they tend to peck, to peck.
Yeah,
but the cassowaries will gut you.
Yes, I'm scared of those fuckers.
Yeah, it should be. And I'm looking at those and I'm going, that looks like a dinosaur with feathers to me.
Yeah.
That's the one with the big beak, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, the 3-inch claws. Oh.
Yeah. And all you have to do is look at their footprints, right?
Yes.
When they've walked through mud. And you could easily think that would be a raptor. I mean,
yes.
a velociraptor is a giant bird. That's the translation.
Yeah. A dinosaur means giant lizard, terrible lizard.
Yeah, but velociraptor in particular means giant bird. Raptor.
And the official name for the African gorilla is gorilla.
Oh, okay. That just took a really weird bend.
Sorry, that just popped in my head for some reason.
Well, it is you, Elihu.
Well, gators and crocodiles are dinosaurs, and
yes.
They predate
them.
Yeah.
Hey, Frog.
There is a fish in the fish species that has been around since the time of the dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's called
a
sharks.
No. Well, sharks, okay, but this one's called a bisher.
What about the coelacanth?
Or the coelacanth before it. Yeah.
Or the horseshoe crabs.
Yeah, they're ancient.
Oh, shit, that's right. I forgot about those guys.
Yeah, they're very old.
Yeah, they have not changed evolutionary wise at all. They're one of the most studied creatures on the planet.
What about those round stromatolite things? I forgot what they're called.
Do you mean the nautiluses, which are the descendants of ammonites?
Yes, thank you.
Yep, ammonites. Yeah.
Oh, I want to say thank you, Frog G, for putting the GoFundMe for bird. You know, that was started on Sunday night. I don't remember what time. I heard it was started Sunday evening, and like last time I checked, I think we had 4,000. I think.
Oh no!
Over $5,000.
It's over 5,000. It's hit its goal now. It was when I looked. It was 5,146. I think.
I thought it was before.
Awesome.
Well done, absolutely everyone. The whole community has been amazing.
There was a $500 donation. There was a couple $100 donations there. Wow.
Yeah.
That is
absolutely impressive from everyone. Absolutely brilliant.
I listened in the bird stream when I was cooking.
I was asleep then.
We all love Bird of Prey and the Beal Prey family, for sure.
Thank you, Frog G.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
5165. Brilliant. Thanks, Frog.
I heard from Captain Truck that he even was going to do a stream earlier tonight.
Didn't see one.
Did you stream? Yeah.
Did he?
I didn't see one.
Captain Trek did. Yeah, I saw it. I didn't watch, but I saw that it was up.
Captain Trek. It must have been before I got. No, I was up early last night.
I got no notification for that. What the hell?
Well, no, it wasn't put by Captain Trek. It was PJ who started Orbital Nation.
Right. Right.
I don't know, but at the rate that it was going, it seemed like we were going to hit the goal before it even happened.
Well, they hit the goal in under 24 hours.
I know that's amazing.
So that's absolutely incredible, and that just goes to show what a fantastic community we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert, I completely agree. If I could get him in the UK, he'd see the rheumatologist that day, over here. It's so infuriating.
I know the American medical system sucks. I went through it as a kid. I know it sucks.
No, you might see him today, but you wouldn't have anything beyond that until they could schedule the test or the procedure. And Canadians come here because they can't get the procedure done in Canada.
No, he's already had all the tests. He's got all the paperwork. He's every test done, so he could collate all that, and that's why he just needs to see someone, look at the test results, and say yes, you need this medication, or you need this, or you need that.
But his problem is he needs a house call.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, good luck finding that anywhere.
Yeah, any cardiologist listening, or if you know a cardiologist in the upper north or North Queens area, contact Bird of Prey 5, or one of us. We'll contact them for you.
Exactly.
We'll get the message through.
Yep.
Yeah, precisely. But his problem is not that he hasn't. I mean, the procedure's not available. The problem is he can't go there.
I know. At this point, I know.
Maybe a teleconference with a doctor can help. Hey, who knows? But he hasn't been.
I would think a teleconference ought to work because the doctor namely needs to see the tests.
Here's the paperwork. Here's the files.
Yeah, he's got the paperwork. You could send them to the person to do the teleconferencing. But the trouble is, a lot of these specialists, wherever they are, they like to see you first. But in this circumstance, I would think someone might make an exception. It's just, it is over here it's different. So it's beyond me that this is a problem for someone. You know,
Yeah.
it's absolutely ludicrous that you can't get some. I'm in the same situation. I'm reversed. I'm Mummo Prey, really, looking after my mum Uzi. Exactly the same as Bird, veteran, and I only have to pick up the phone and someone's here. She's had X-rays. We even had a specialist a video call within 2 days of the doctor asking for it. It's no issue here, any of it. So it's so frustrating for me to hear how, and poor Bird, he doesn't need this.
No.
And it's so infuriating. It really is. Yeah.
Robert Green, Arizona does suck. It took a whole year for my medical records to go from Arizona to California. And get this, it was only from age 5. I need it to age 15 for my medical records for my SSDI to get approved. I'm still waiting for the rest of it to get transferred over here.
Hello, Darth Astor. Good to see you.
Hey, Darth. Sorry, I was taking a gulp of my coffee then.
Hey, Darth Astor.
Gobble coffee? Oh, you are British.
Oh, yeah, no.
Well,
Coffee is my blood.
yeah.
Or blood is my coffee.
A lot of people can't run without coffee.
I can't.
Walk. Or stand.
Just like that scene from Resident Alien. Just one sip. I need to get my bowel started.
I've actually started learning how to operate without coffee recently because I'm just, for some reason, haven't been drinking it in the morning these days. I
need it. That's like the first thing I do is I want to get out of bed and I stumble to the coffee pot.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the power's still out. Yeah, Doc told us earlier the power was out. No.
So he hasn't. Oh man, he hasn't been able to do his gaming streams, or that's a bummer, Darth.
Yeah, no, that's terrible.
I am Robert. That's why I'm muted when I'm coughing.
Elihu?
Yes.
You are up very late.
I know.
What's going on?
I don't know. No neighbors are blasting music. I have a semi-solid internet connection right now. So, hey, Bill's on. You're on. There's an adventure. It's on. Everybody's here. What's up? I don't know.
Strike while the iron is hot.
It's just so unusual to see him at this time of the day.
I know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I turn on my camera when my shirt is off.
Could be worse. Could be wearing no pants.
Oh, I have pants on. Well, I have shorts on.
None of us. Come on, guys. None of us wear pants, and no one sees us below the waist. None of us are wearing pants.
I got shorts on, okay? And I do not wear shorts in public.
Well, it's good to keep the cameras off there, Elihu. Hello, DJ Doug.
Oh, yeah. I hated growing up in Arizona. I don't know how you stand it, Bill.
I've been here for 34, 35 years. I've learned to live with it, but it's still too damn hot in the summer.
It's a dry heat. Yeah, stick your head in the oven.
Those in oven. I was going to say, yes. That was one of my favorite stories about when the 2 years that Formula One went to Phoenix.
Ooh.
And the first year they went, of course, they went in, I don't know, June, something utterly ridiculous. So the track temperatures were so high, all of the tires melted.
Yeah.
Like within 2 laps.
Yeah.
And the teams were like, we don't have enough tires to make it through the race. Well, they came back the next year. They were at least given the reprieve of being in the spring, so it wasn't as hot. But the teams were so tired of hearing it's a dry heat. They all got black T-shirts that said on the front, it's a dry heat. And on the back, it said, yeah, so's an oven.
I'm not sure what's funnier, the shirt or wearing black.
Yeah, wearing black, exactly. Black T-shirts in Arizona in May.
On the racetrack.
Well,
oh my gosh!
Right. Yeah, on pavement where everything's paved.
Okay, if nobody's ever been to the racetrack and the pavement, when the race is going on, the temperature raises about 15 degrees. Okay,
yeah,
it's hot as
the
fuck.
The track temperature was like 200 degrees.
Yeah, but you feel about 15 degree increase if you're standing
Well,
outside.
the air is warmed up by the track, by the asphalt. But the asphalt's with the asphalt will damn near boil water or cook an egg.
Oh yeah.
Well, May's not so bad. I mean, it gets hotter by the end of May. That's when we really start to
by
hit
the end of May.
digits.
I mean,
If you guys want a good example is when it rains in Arizona, put a jacket on. When it rains in New Orleans, you want to walk outside naked.
Because it's just slightly more humid than normal.
Yeah, it's a different type of heat. In case you guys are wondering, okay?
Yeah.
Well, it's the same over here in the summer. The minute it rains, everyone just strips off and runs around naked because it's so nice.
So muggy.
Because of the humidity.
Yeah.
It's like, ah.
Yeah, after Katrina hit, when it was a slight rain, you see people half naked in the streets, basically trying to take a shower.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yes, but that's different. Yeah.
I mean, the water was nice and cool. It's cool outside. Nobody's freezing. It's all good.
We have arrived here in Central Texas at the season where I want to find a guy who invented air conditioning and buy him a beer.
Hey, at least you don't have a swamp cooler. I don't hear one.
Oh no. We have a 4-ton AC heat pump.
Okay, good.
It just switches back and forth on whatever's needed, and it's great. But yeah, the only way I can't imagine living in Central or Southern Texas without air conditioning. I'm like, how the hell did they do it? I mean, yeah, I know they sweated and they smelled really bad.
Good one, Thomas.
Yeah, that's why people in Austin only smell on their left side of the body because they don't have a right guard.
What? Austin? Do not talk about Austin in any bad way whatsoever, ever. Because you know who lives in Austin. Well, Richard does.
Right outside of Austin.
I know a couple of people who live in or near Austin.
No. Who's my favorite
guy from Supernatural, right?
Yeah, well done, Bill. Jensen and Jared both live in Austin.
Did you hear about the new Highlander series?
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
I broke the news yesterday. The sad, terrible, awful news yesterday to everyone.
Jensen Ackles is getting married?
No, he's already married.
Oh.
No. This is far worse. Buckle your seatbelts, people. I know a lot of people don't actually watch this sci-fi or read the books, but I am a mega fan. And, well, they're rebooting The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
What?
No.
I'm sorry, guys. I know I've broken so many people's hearts. I'm sorry.
I am panicking. I have my towel. I'm still panicking.
I know. It's so sad.
Yeah, that what could possibly go wrong?
Well, I know. They're gonna make Dance a woman.
Yeah. Sven said that.
Oh no.
Ford is gonna be an Asian woman. They're gonna make the robot happy.
Well, to be honest, I mean, the film was bad enough.
Yeah, I know. The books were better.
Well, yeah, but the television show was immensely great. It started with a radio show first. The fans loved it so much, Douglas Adams wrote the books off it. And then, of course, from the books became the television series, which was awesome. I don't care what anyone says. Awesome. Because it followed the books exactly. Apart from, obviously, missing out a lot of bits and pieces they couldn't fit in. And then that film, what they did to Marvin the robot was just disgraceful. Although keen viewers like myself spotted a cameo of the real Marvin when they were queuing up to get their license, when they landed on the planet getting hit by those stupid fly swatters, which was probably the funniest thing I saw because they were all getting hurt.
When they had an idea.
Yeah. Marvin himself was actually in the queue. So, yeah.
Oh,
but,
I did not know that.
Yeah, well, I spotted him. Yeah, but I wouldn't encourage people to go back and watch it just to see that. Yeah, so I dread to think. I really do dread to think what they're going to do.
Well, John Malkovich was good.
Can you imagine them replacing the whale with something a little bit more PC? And what about the pot of petunias? What are they going to do with that?
Okay, if you never read the books, you saw the movie, and you're wondering why the petunias said not again, read the book.
Yeah,
yes,
it is. It's
exactly.
one of the. It is probably the most important thing you hear in the entire book.
Yes, not again.
Oh no, not again.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was. Yeah.
Read the book. If you don't understand it, I'm not going to explain it because it's a spoiler.
And
I
to be
enjoyed
fair,
the movie.
Yeah, but if you've not, Bill, if you hadn't gone back and seen the original or read the book, I get why you'd like the movie because it wasn't god awful. It just didn't follow Hitchhikers. What I will say, Audible has them all. If you're a member of Audible, just buy one free every month. I've got the entire. I've even got his Dark Time of Soul and Realistic Detective Agency and things like that. But they're all on Audible, so you can listen to them. So yeah, if you're not up to reading the book, but you're happy to, listen to it while you're driving or something, well worth it. And 42 is the answer. But what's
the answer?
What's the question?
Oh,
the ultimate question.
If the question were known at the same time as the answer, then the universe would instantly be replaced by something infinitely more complicated.
Of course it would.
It's 24 inverted Mobius strip. So it's 24.
Oh, I had an aunt who used to give me books at Christmas, and one Christmas I opened a package from my aunt and uncle, and it was a leather-bound archival paper edition with gilt edges and the ribbon to mark your page with version of all of the Hitchhiker's novels in one hardcover leather-bound volume, and it is one of my most prized possessions because it's one of the most beautiful books I own, and it's one of the most silly stories I've ever read. It's great.
Hey, the library's opening up again. I should recheck them out.
He was so intelligent as well, Douglas Adams, because the more you read the books, the more you think, hang on a minute, he really knows what he's talking about here. I haven't unfortunately got what Redshirt's got, but I have a hardbound cover of them all in one, and it's so dog-eared because everywhere I travelled, I took it with me. It was my go-to place to escape.
You have a puppy paperback, huh?
No, it's a hardback with all 5 books in it. So it's a huge book. It looks like a Stephen King book, really, but a bit thicker. But it goes everywhere with me. Absolutely everywhere I go.
I said you dog-eared your book. I'm like, you got a
dog-eared. Yeah, dog-eared. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm very sorry, everyone, to break that really sad news.
She folds her pages. Oh, no.
I actually have a first edition copy of The Hobbit with hand-drawn maps in it that fold out.
Oh, cool.
But I don't touch it or play with it because it was handed down to me. It lives somewhere safe because it's worth a fortune.
I still use a string or a yarn as a bookmark.
Yeah,
I just use a bookmark. It's just simple. It's a piece of leather.
That is one book I enjoy reading over and over again, The Hobbit.
Yeah, The Hobbit is The Hobbit. That's why I won't watch the films, because I have my own movie in my head. And I made a conscious decision. I'm not going to watch The Hobbit or the Towers ones because
Yvette, please watch the cartoon.
No.
Well, I would say, Yvette, I would say if there's anything that's worth watching, having read the Lord of the Rings trilogy
Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
10 times before I gave up counting,
Mhm.
the Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, he's in multiple interviews. I remember one where he said, I don't think Tolkien was writing a fantasy. I don't think he thought he was writing a fantasy. He was writing a mythology for England.
Yeah, definitely.
And Jackson said, we didn't want to put anything into the movie that Tolkien didn't put into the story. He's mostly been dinged for leaving some things, characters, in particular Tom Bombadil, and a few scenes out. But
yeah, producers didn't want them talking about pipe weed and having kids think about, oh, they're smoking weed. I know that part.
Well,
it's not so much whether they've done the films right or wrong. I mean, I haven't heard bad things about them. It was a conscious decision on my part because I grew up reading these books. They were my, as a child, my world in my head. And I have the picture I have of Bilbo Baggins. I mean, I've seen pictures and no.
Okay.
So that's why for me.
I agree with you. I understand you. I read The Lord of the Rings. I read The Hobbit when I was in 4th grade at about 9 years old. And I read The Lord of the Rings the first time when I was about 10 years old. And I read it just about every year for 10 or more years. I will say this. The cinematography in the movies is so spectacular that I cannot wait to get the 4K version of the extended Lord of the Rings.
You guys realize only about 10% of the background is CGI'd. That's what makes the movie so great.
It's all filmed on the South Island of New Zealand.
I know. It's about 10% of that CGI. You may have like a house here in the background that wasn't in the hill. They put it in there. But
right.
It's all natural.
But most of it is the South Island, the Southern Alps of New Zealand. It's absolutely breathtaking.
I mean, the scenery in that film, beautiful. Makes me want to go to visit New Zealand.
It makes you want to go to the South. It makes you want to go to Southern New Zealand.
Phil, all I'll say is just remember Milton lives there.
Milton? Okay.
You've seen him on Captain Trex. He's the Mad Witch King, the Kiwi.
Yeah.
By the way, that highlighted comment you made to Thomas Potts, I got into a little discussion with Brad Meltzer about that, and he agrees. Loki wasn't D.B. Cooper. D.B. Cooper left his tie on the seat. Loki had his when he jumped out the plane. Meltzer covered this on his show, Decoded.
Thomas Potts still believes that I am D.B. Cooper. I'll never tell him.
Okay, then, where's the money? Only 20,000 was found. Come on, where's the rest of it?
Well, that's a secret now.
Oh, talking of missing treasure, so to speak. Little fact for you guys. Utterly useless, but may come in handy if you're in a quiz at some point. There has been no buried treasure ever found. Ever. As in pirates.
No buried treasure ever been found.
No.
Nope.
No, but the sea has buried treasures.
Well, when a boat goes down, and the treasure's gone with it. But
the Nuestra Senora de Atocha is one of the most famous Spanish treasure ships that was salvaged by a guy who was basically Don Quixote, and nobody took him seriously until he suddenly started showing up with doubloons, and the government said, "Oh, we want all of that." And they wound up in court. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I started out watching The Curse of Oak Island, and it's just bullshit.
Yeah, D.B. Cooper was not his name; it was Dan Cooper. I don't know where D.B. came from.
There's an island just off of Madagascar called Pirate Island, and I don't know if any of you watched the Grand Tour, but the boys'
Yes.
latest version was that they ended up in Madagascar on possibly the worst roads I've ever seen them drive on. And then
Yep.
hunting for buried treasure, no less, a great big cross. And then eventually ended up going over to this pirate island. It's well, I won't spoil it. It was really good.
It's
Really
an
good one.
Amazon Prime original. It's the three guys from the Top Gear program that was the greatest, the biggest, most popular show on the planet for
till the BBC
15 years.
Screwed it up.
Well, Jeremy Clarkson screwed it up, and the BBC took advantage of it.
Well, the BBC were idiots because the other two always told the BBC, "Clarkson goes, we go." So they blew it. They blew it anyway.
Well, they did. I'm not saying, but Jeremy really did screw up. He's lucky he wasn't criminally prosecuted.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is they've made it. They went to Amazon, and Amazon threw money at them and said, "Make a show."
Yeah.
And there's been 3 seasons with a tent, and now they're doing just go someplace and do something stupid, catch fire and fall over. Yeah. And the last one is they went to Madagascar to find pirate treasure. And yes, they drive on some of the absolute, utterly worst roads they've ever been on, including the Columbia Special.
Yeah.
And
with that road,
Yes. And it's fun. It's funny. The scenery is amazing. The cinematography. It was all filmed in 4K video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pity the poor bastard who had to drive the server van around. With all of the computers in the back that all the cameras transmit their footage to every day because the cameras can't hold it.
Mm. Have you guys heard of Byron Price?
No.
Byron Price. No.
The Secret?
No.
He's an actual guy. He buried 12 boxes across the country. 4 of them haven't been found. They have a jewel inside of them. It's a map and a clue. One of them is in San Francisco. Somewhere inside Golden Gate Park. And I think I know where it is.
Okay, you know what you're doing tomorrow then.
Well, I'm waiting for the crowd to go down to City Hall because they just reopened. I'm going to get a digging permit, digging Golden Gate Park.
You have to get digging permits.
For Golden Gate Park, yes.
Well, you'd probably get fined with a...
Yeah, I need a permit to dig inside Golden Gate Park.
Digging. Did you ever get your telescope, Elihu?
What?
Go at night.
They shoot at you at night.
No, if I'm going to dig up buried treasure, I want it daytime so I can document it. I'm not going to go at night in the night and get arrested for being in the park at night.
Just make sure you're in the park and not the cemetery. You know, you don't want to be mistaken for a grave robber, you know.
There is a homeless encampment by where I think the location is buried, so it would be a place to stay there at night.
I found it. Oh, no, it's a bone. It's the same.
Oh, that's it. No, it's an engagement ring. Damn.
Did you ever get your telescope, Elihu? Or
yes, I did. And lately, it's been the astronomer's worst nightmare. Clouds.
Why?
Clouds.
Clouds.
Clouds are an astronomer's worst nightmare.
Yep.
It was clear. It was clear. I was going to go out to the park, on the square, and midnight, and see if I can look at Saturn and Jupiter rising. But it's a little foggy and low clouds, and kind of hard to see tonight. Besides, a little light pollution from the East Bay right now. Blame Tiki. Tiki, turn off your porch light, man. I can't see Saturn.
Yeah, all you'd see would be the sky glow from the city off the bottom of the clouds.
So we know there's now, because there's no longer 9 planets. Is there 8 planets, or are we reduced to 7?
There is 8 planets in our solar system, possibly 7 if we get to declassify Mercury.
They want to disclassify Mercury?
It's a planetoid. It's stupid.
Yeah, planetoid, dwarf planet. Come on, let's call them Plutoids.
Mercury's still orbiting the sun. It's round. It'll do.
Make is larger than Pluto.
I'm still upset about them saying that there's no 9 planets, because when I was taught there was 9 planets.
Yeah, it does not classify to 3 classification. It does not clear its orbital path of its surrounding debris. That's what Pluto does not do.
No.
Mercury, we're not sure if Mercury does that or the sun does that for it.
Mm.
Well, the moon doesn't orbit the Earth. Our moon orbits the sun. Its orbit is never concave towards the Earth. It's always concave towards the sun. We're just in a twin orbit with it on Earth.
Everything orbits the sun.
Well, there are moons of Jupiter that orbit Jupiter because they circle Jupiter away from the sun, but the moon never circles away from the sun around the Earth.
It's an elliptical orbit. That's why it's not a complete circle.
Yeah, we're in a
No, I know it's elliptical. I'm just saying that it was one of the things I learned in college astronomy was, so to my surprise, the moon doesn't actually orbit curved around the Earth at any point in its orbit. Its orbit is simply that we do it, the Earth and the moon do a do-si-do, alternating places nearer and farther from the sun as they go around.
Yeah, a gravitational tug-of-war, basically.
Yes. But the sun's gravity is greater on the moon than the Earth's gravity is, even though the sun is 93 million miles away and the Earth is 250,000 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
Because the sun is so massive. And that's physics, children.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yvette can explain it to you.
Yvette
can explain it to you. Yeah, that was actually kind of a, whoa, wait a minute, what moment.
Yeah.
Hey, I just let you go. You were doing great.
Hey, I can do hand-waving physics with the best of them.
Okay.
What, the math? Oh, you mean the orbital mechanics? No, I can't do that. Sorry.
I mean, Elihu here, that's his expertise anyway, so.
I know.
I gave up on math when the alphabet got involved.
No.
I gave up on math when imaginary numbers got involved.
Elihu, you were on Jep Nerdy the other day, that brief one. Did you still have your nerd card, or did they rip it away from you again?
I still have my nerd card. I came in second place. I technically would have. I forgot who won. I technically would have won because a question was about Starsky and Hutch, and it was named Huggy Bear's Bar. It was called Huggy Bears in the TV show, but he wanted the movie answer. He didn't specify that.
Oh.
Technically, I would have won with that.
Well, that's typical of Mike, though. He always throws a wrench in any answer.
I had to realize that after the stream was over. I'm like, wait a minute, Huggy Bears, that was a TV show.
Yeah.
Because I had every single Starsky and Hutch question right. I'm like, okay, why do I know this one? This is easy. I know every single Starsky and Hutch question.
No. I'll take care, Darth. Fingers crossed for the power.
Yeah. Later, Darth.
Later, Darth.
Later, dude.
Well, guys, I'm going to have to go because I have to go up the shop. So, thank you very much for having me on, Bill.
Yeah, thank you for dropping by. Thank you. And we'll see you in the morning.
Yeah, Elihu, try and get some sleep, for God's sake. It's freaking me out, you being up at the time I'm up.
I will go to sleep in a little bit.
Richard, always good to talk.
Good night and good morning.
Much love to everyone in the chat.
Later, that.
Good night. Good morning. Bye.
Just like that, she's gone. Well, that's just. I was still amazed by that. Everybody coming together. 100. Let's see. It was 128 donors, and it was shared out 109 times on social media platforms.
And how many times was it retweeted and reshared on Facebook and Twitter? I don't know.
Well, 109 between everything. So
I thought it was 109 directly from the link to share on social media. But it doesn't count how many times it was shared. People shared it on social media itself, like retweeted this, retweeted that, or reposted
Right.
on Facebook. Yeah. Because I know for a fact that I did it, Orville Nation did it, Gary from Neurotic did it, and he got a lot of followers. A lot of people retweeted shits.
Oh yeah.
yeah, it just shows when this committee, when we put our heads together and we can move mountains, and this is one example of it. It's just wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah. And we know everybody loves Bird. even with the Aussie Prey accent and everything that he does.
D-Doug, I'm not going anywhere near Virginia. I heard about the Beale Papers.
What?
Buried treasure in Virginia. And they are fake. Okay? The Beale Papers have been proven to be fake. One of the letters do not match up. See, I know a little bit about something.
Well, football. Wait, Truth of Politics. You'll prefer watching football in a month? Oh, football not for a while yet. At least,
Still baseball season.
yeah.
Go Giants.
No, like football. Football doesn't turn until August. With the
Well, he may be referring to what we here in the United States call soccer.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, he would have said American football.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop flopping. We'd see you on TV. Come on, it doesn't work anymore. It's replay, please. Come on. He hit me, see?
We're glad
see
that you're here, the Truth of Populix. We're glad that you're here. I think
Where should I go tomorrow? The city is basically open up again. Where should I go? I can go to the park. I can go to the Fisherman's Wharf. Huh. Gee, I don't know. What should I do tomorrow? I've been stuck indoors for a year, people. Help me out.
Oh.
If after a year you don't know where you want to go tomorrow, I can't help you.
And
There's a lot of places I can go tomorrow, but I'm like, where do I want to go? Different parts of the city.
And sadly, we lost a celebrity. Another one bites the dust.
Who?
Pure Ned Betty.
Oh, Ned Beatty yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
When he died yesterday. Otis!
Yeah. Let's just hope he didn't go out squealing like a pig.
That feels good in Deliverance, yeah.
Yeah.
He played Otis, Lex Luthor's sidekick on Superman 1 and 2.
That's right. That's right. Oh, my goodness.
Then John Cryer took over in 4.
And he was born in Louisville, Kentucky. And sadly died in LA.
See, I haven't been on Twitter in an hour. What's going on?
I don't know, there's something always going on.
Yeah.
I got to say, though, for all the jokes that are said about it, Deliverance is a great movie.
Yeah. Well, he had a long life, 83 years of age.
Yep.
That was a good solid run.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh wow.
What?
Oh, I'm just seeing a robbery at a Walgreens on Golf and Fail here in the city.
Yeah.
A guy rides a bike in the San Francisco Walgreens, fills a trash bag with goods. Security watches and films him as he walks away. You guys want to see the video?
No. We don't need to see that.
It's not violent or anything. It's just like, what the hell?
You need 70 million, truth of publish. What for?
Well, he knows nobody's going to bother him.
Here, check it out.
All right.
Okay.
The security guard and the
Still
security
has the bag.
guard. Oh, come on! The security guard could have done more. Hello, Darius.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell?
You changed your name. Munchausen changed your name. The delirious O'Prey. You keep changing your name. Don't do that. There's another somebody we know who does that.
He too confused. You don't know who he be.
Well, good to see you, Darius. I'll still call you Munchausen. Munchenhausen. Showing sport for bird. Well, you know the goal is reached, Darius. The goal is reached. I can share my screen here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome sauce.
Right there. Look. Goal reached. That is awesome. That is absolutely.
Don't bother World of Pepsi. It didn't work for Caitlyn Jenner in that police protest commercial.
I got news for you. Buying the world of Coke doesn't work either.
I know. Makes Dennis happy.
Not when you have countries out there like China,
who has a different kind of Coke than we have.
Did you know?
Just buy the stuff from Mexico. That's the original.
Yes, made with real cane sugar.
There is a huge Bitcoin mining farm here in the States. What you need to mine Bitcoin, you need to, would be good to mine it in a cold climate, a very cold climate.
Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Cash Coin, whatever the hell this is called.
I just don't understand how a currency, it's an online currency, grows so fast.
It's been crashing recently, Bill. It's
Yeah,
been going into the toilet. Yeah. It's pure speculation. I mean, I wouldn't touch Bitcoin with a 39.5-foot pole.
Have you seen what it takes to mine? Why do they call it mining? I guess when they use like these graphic cards that people can't get, gamers or people who want to build computers. That's why everything is out of stock right now, and
Well, people mine different data streams for information like script leaks, that sort of stuff. So you're mining data information.
I just don't understand where the
Looking for it.
where the graphics cards come in
Oh.
to do this so mining.
Don't know. He is a Mr. Grinch, Darius.
Who is? What?
Oh, he was singing earlier.
He got, Darius got the reference. The 39.5-foot pole is from
yeah.
the song "You're a Mean One,
one.
Mr. Grinch."
Oh,
I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole.
oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes, Christmas in June, people.
Hey, they're already putting Halloween shit out. Why not?
They are.
What?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Where are they doing that?
Oh, I just heard people complaining about it already. I figure, some idiot probably is.
Say 4th of July. Sheesh.
I know. It's like, come on, people. We got a couple of holidays in between. Independence Day, Labor
July,
Day,
September, October, September.
the meetup in Las Vegas. Come on.
Sheesh. My birthday? Come on. You gonna skip Halloween for my birthday? Never.
I use a pickaxe to mine. No, I was talking about mining the Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency. But it seems like for every cryptocurrency, a day later, there's a new cryptocurrency to arise.
Yep. Everybody, as Jimmy Durante liked to say, everybody wants to get into the act.
Yeah. Nice. Good impression, too.
Thank you.
But do you have the nose?
What?
You have the Jimmy Durant nose.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't have the nose.
Oh my gosh, I actually know who he is.
So how's Friday Night Hikes been going?
Oh, it's been crazy. It's been absolutely nuts. We had over 7,000 people last Friday. The chat was in slow mode before the show even started, and it was still flying. So yeah, it's crazy. It's fun. It's a great show. It's very funny. They've been on fire for a while now. But it's been a hoot.
So did Gary actually make it move away from California, and make it out of there?
No, he hasn't made it out of there. He's in San Diego. He's made it out of San Francisco. He's in North San Diego County. He's been to Texas. He's scouted out locations, and he's really seriously considering moving to the outskirts of San Antonio, I believe.
Texas.
Yes. Texas. But yeah, that's where he's probably going to go. And I mean, that puts a whole cadre of YouTubers, within 3 hours of me. Because I was down in Round Rock a couple of weeks ago, and I met Jake D and Foulball Productions, and had dinner with them, and met them in person,
nice.
which was a hell of a lot of fun. So I'm 2 hours to Austin, another hour to San Antonio, and I'm in the same neighborhood as a whole bunch of YouTubers.
Nice.
So a Texas meetup would be a piece of cake to do.
Closest
Hopefully
one to
it'll
me
happen someday.
Closest one to me is Cardinal Sin and Tiki. That's it. Everybody else is too far.
Yeah.
Well,
And Bill, I am getting sleepy.
Time for Elihu to go to bed.
Yes, time for my night time.
Okay. Appreciate you stopping by.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad here. I haven't been on here in a bit. Bye, people. Bye, people.
See ya, Elihu.
Later, Elihu.
Later, guys. Yes, I am the San Francisco treat.
No.
What?
You should
Ding,
probably come
ding.
with a warning label.
It's like ding, ding. The San Francisco treat. On that note, later, guys.
Later.
So long. Have a good evening. So
I just don't understand how how you guys do it when a chat moves that fast. Like,
yeah, I scroll the chat up, and it freezes, and I can scan a page of the chat, and then I let it go, and I scroll it up again, and I look at it. I can't read it at the pace that it goes by.
well, how would you drop links if when you needed to?
Well, you just go ahead and type it in and paste them in, and they show up when they show up.
Oh, yeah.
And slow-mo doesn't apply to mods, so if I have to say hello to 5 different people, I can say hello as fast as I can type it.
Yeah.
But no, the main thing is that trying to pay attention to the chat, it's really comes down to my mouse wheel gets a hell of a workout for about 4 or 5 hours. It's constant. Scroll it up, scroll it back down, scroll it up, scroll it back down. Read it, it just, and I have a cheat sheet that I keep open. It's a text file I keep open, and if I see something that makes me go, oh, I want to watch that person, wonder what they're going to say next, I'll throw their name in my cheat sheet, keep an eye out for that name in the chat for a while. But yeah, it's exhausting. I mean, after 4 hours of it, my eyes are crossing. It's brutal. And there's a reason that there are so many mods on Friday Night Tights. They're needed because none of us can see all of the chat. Well, most of us can't. I'm sure there's a couple like Eric K and Mark Lerseth who probably read damn near everything. But I'm not a speed reader, so I just have to read as much as I can and keep up as best I can.
Right.
But yeah, but it's it's just a matter of the rules are pretty simple. Don't use any racial slurs. Don't spam the chat, pasting the same damn thing over and over and over and over and over again. And other than that, there isn't a hell of a lot you can say other than, literally what looks like actionable slander or libel that'll get deleted. And, I tend to try and warn people about don't spam the chat before I time them out. But, to me, it's warning, timeout, gone. But I don't always get there because sometimes another mod comes in and goes, I'm tired of this asshole. Gone. But, the main one is, the list of links to share. Yeah, I have that. But I also have a section at the bottom for all of the problem children I'm worried about and spam. But no, the main one is, there are certain things that people can type into a chat that will get a channel just absolutely nuked from orbit by YouTube or Google, and the bots are watching. So we have to get rid of stuff that the bots would flag. Yeah. Because if we let it go, that's potentially on the channel owner. So like with your chats here, I mean, if one of your pet trolls comes in and starts putting shit in the chat instead of trying to get on the stream, he's got to get shut down. He's got to get shut down before, you can't let that go. And it's not the mods doing it. It's not like me being an asshole and saying, I don't like what you just said. Screw you. It's gone. No, it's what you just said could get this channel struck by YouTube. And I try to explain that.
Yeah.
If I have to just flat delete a comment, I try and explain that. But it's a constant, it's a constant battle to try and read enough, and you scan the comment, you try and see what there's, and some of them are just obvious. Some of them are just like, oh, that's stupid. Just hide. You're gone. You don't even have any imagination as a troll. We need a better class of trolls around here.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's nuts. And I'm not surprised that people burn out doing it. Because, I've seen some turnover since I got a wrench from Gary a few months ago, and it's not the exact same collection of mods on Friday Night Tights that it used to be. There's some new names, and I said try and say hello. I try and say hello to everybody because I use Eric K as I use Eric K as my role model. Eric K is a fantastic wrench. He's Gary's head wrench, and his philosophy seems to be, I want to say hello to all 7,000 people at some point.
Right.
And he does his level best to say hello to everybody who shows up and chats in a Friday Night Tight stream. It's amazing to watch. I mean, I'm busier than a one-arm paper hanger for the first 20, 30 minutes of a Friday Night Tights chat saying hello and doing very little else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's crazy. But, the shows are fun.
I can imagine being the channel host and seeing it once. I'd like to ask them guys when the first time when they had a chat that was so vast and how they responded to. I mean, because I can't even fathom right now having a chat, having that many people in chat, and Well, I would like to be there, but I don't. I kind of like the elegance of the smaller audience.
Yeah. No. I agree. I will say this. I mean, anybody who winds up with more than 50 people, 50, 60 people in their chat, and especially when they're all engaged and they're all typing, I can't imagine trying to run a live stream and address the chat at the same time. So, the people who are like, hey, how come you didn't read my comment? I tagged you. It's like, wait a minute.
Right.
Do you know how many other 1,000 people are typing in this chat at the same time you were? If you can't find one person's comment and follow a conversation in the chat, imagine the poor person trying to run a live stream and follow somebody in the chat. It's not going to happen. It's not that they don't care about you. It's that they just, at past a certain point, they just can't deal with the chat. It's not possible.
Yeah. And Thomas Watts is trying to summon Kronos. I know. We don't have Kronos or Parrot Head in their chat tonight.
No.
That's okay. They'll show up eventually on one of the soups.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it. Although I will admit, I have to wait until Gary reposts the Friday Night Tight stream to Nerdrotic live, usually the next day. And I have to rewatch the stream because, quite frankly, I don't think I hear more than 20% of the stream when I'm modding. Mm-hmm. Because I am so focused on the chat. I'm missing about 80% of the stream. So it's like I never heard that. It's like I never heard most of this before when I watch it again.
Right.
Because chat, it requires that much concentration. It is tough to do. And like I said, there's probably people who can multitask better than I can, who can listen to the stream and watch the chat and keep track of the problem children, and they manage it all. And my hat is off to them because I can't do that.
Right. And Darius, you're quite good in that modding, and we appreciate you come around to the smaller channels with not a full rambunctious, speedy chat, so to speak. And hello, the Catman, Dee Dee Myers. Good to see you. The internet will find who? Find who? Wait. Okay. We got Darius O'Prey and Android Skimmer. Greetings, Organics. Well, greetings to you, Android. Another one using the RoboCop. But RoboCop with a fedora is much better. Darius O'Prey with the RoboCop with the fedora hat on. Did you Photoshop that? Did you Photoshop to make that, or how was that done? I'm just curious how you got the fedora on RoboCop. I imagine some type of Photoshop did that. Photoshop an image of a fedora on RoboCop. What? Thomas? Fake Neurotic showed up on AT channel. Really?
Yeah, that must have been a while ago because clicking on his name took you back to his channel, whereas now it doesn't.
And hello, TWTG content. Top of the, what would be your neck of woods would probably be midday or at least almost noon, maybe. Photo Wist says Truth Apocalypse. Wanted to get your real face, so he grabbed a reddest RoboCop photo you could find, and then added a cowboy hat. That's not a. I thought it was a fedora. When I look at it, it looks at like a fedora, like Indiana Jones's hat. I didn't know it was a cowboy hat.
Yeah, it looks like a Stetson.
Oh, okay.
I have an Indiana Jones hat. It's different from a cowboy hat.
Where does one go to buy a fedora these days?
Ooh, that's a tough one. No, it is. It's a tough one. That's not a common item anymore.
No, but it is a popular hat.
Orvis. I bought one hat from Orvis that's a fairly narrow brim fedora. I have a leather band wool Indiana Jones style hat with the crush of it, the crown of his with a big wide brim just like his, and it's in dark green, so it's pretty. He had a satin headband. He had a sateen headband on his. Mine's got a leather strip around it. That's basically the same thing with a different hatband. But they're hard to come by. They're not very common. I mean, yeah, cowboy hats are common. You can find them in Texas. I mean, I practically can't go anywhere to buy boots, or I don't trip over a place to complete display of hats or something. But they're expensive.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Yeah. A decent hat like that is not cheap.
I remember back in the 90s, I bought a George Strait white Stetson hat, and I think I paid like $130 for it. I put it on the credit card, of course, when I had.
Well, if you buy the straw hats, you can pay a couple of $100. if you buy a wool hat for wintertime, because there is actually a season for cowboy hats, Memorial Day to Labor Day is straw hats, and the rest of the year is wool. And the best ones are still made out of beaver fur, and they can go to a ridiculous price. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of dollars for one hat. So yeah, it's all about fit. It's got to fit.
Yeah.
I have a really, really nice handmade Panama hat that I bought in San Diego, and I think I tried on 10 of them before I found one that fit. And I took that home. That was a heck of a thing getting home on the plane. Because there's no way I was going to put it in the overhead bin and let it get crushed by somebody else's carry-on luggage.
Right.
So yeah, that came home in my lap. But yeah, hats are tough to come by. There's not that many stores sell them these days, like of course they used to when every man wore a hat. But nowadays most people don't. If they wear anything, it's a baseball cap, and half of them aren't wearing it properly anyway. They're wearing it sideways or backwards.
Hey, Latino Slant, good to see you, my friend.
Speaking of hats,
right, he got a nice fedora. Couple of nice hats we've seen you wear, Polly. I see you still sporting the Latino Slant coffee mug as your avatar.
oh yeah. I got a personalized one, so I figured it's got my channel name on it. And Paulie didn't seem to mind me including it, so he said go for it. Nice. I did check with him first, though, since it is his logo.
Didn't Kai MFS come up with that?
As I understand it, yes.
I think Kai do that for him, I believe.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Paulie. Did Kai come up with that logo for you with the head?
It's so iconic, by the way.
Oh yeah,
too.
It's instantly recognizable. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And then there's, of course, I have the Enterprise behind it, the model. I figured that was a good photograph to use as my icon. Better than a generic collection of a bunch of red shirts waiting for a turbo lift, which is my original one.
Yeah. The most iconic French kissing elegant logo. Really?
Okay. If you say so.
All right. Hello, Polly. How's it going over there? How's your heat wave? I mean, I've been in excessive heat warning since last Thursday, and it's supposed to get hotter by this coming Wednesday. So we're supposed to get up to 115 or 120. I'm running the AC right now at about 77 degrees. Very comfortable. If I turn off that, the inside temperature probably drops to about 80 or 83 degrees if I were to turn it off. 97 there tomorrow. That is, yeah. I guess there's a heat wave not all across the country right now going on. Well, it is summertime.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the dry season to start here in Texas because it's been raining almost nonstop for about 4 or 5 weeks. About 5-6 weeks.
Are you a part of Texas where it's still under hurricane season?
Yeah, I'm a little further north than most of the hurricanes are going to get. They're usually headed east before they get up here. I'm a good 3-hour drive from Houston, which is closer to the coast. I mean, it's 3.5 to 4 hours to get someplace and get to Galveston. So the Gulf Coast is between 3.5 and 4 hours from me to one of the nearest places. So, if a storm comes ashore and it actually makes it north into Texas, it's probably just going to produce an enormous amount of rain here. It's probably not going to be a very strong storm by the time it makes it here. It would take one heck of a hurricane to get up here and still be destructive.
No.
So, yeah, just in the middle of we just live in the middle of nowhere. Most of my neighbors are cows.
Cows.
Yep, most of my neighbors are cattle. I got about 3 houses right near me. I can't see any of them from my front door, but I know they're there.
You certainly can smell it, I'm sure.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes, yeah. Because the breeze always blows from the pasture to the south of the house, and the prevailing wind is usually from roughly the south. So, yeah, we get the aroma every once in a while. But hey, it's like, come on, you're living in the country. There are cows going, "Arr!" Oh, come on. You're not complaining about the noise, are you? Really? You moved here from the city. They've been here long before you were, and now you start complaining about the noises and the smells because it's a farm or a ranch? Oh. No, I have no patience. I have no patience at all. It's like, you wanted to live out here, deal with what comes out here. Yeah, we have predators out here. We've lost, what is it? 2, 6, 8, 16 chickens in the last year. We have 4 left right now.
Jeez.
And they live in a dog run. They live in a dog, the dog fencing. It's a dog run. They live in one of those with a coop built on one end of it to shelter them from the weather. And something managed to crawl through the 4-inch gap at the top of the coop, apparently, and take off with 6 of the chickens. Either that or a human being walked in and opened it up and stole them. I don't know which. But all I can say is we're going to put some motion detector lights and trap cameras out there. And I better not see any of my neighbors going in to steal chickens.
Greetings, Mountains of Elysium. Good to see you. I did not know that the hurricane season was so long, from June till November. The heck of a run. Hope this season won't have too many bad hurricanes. I mean,
we've had a couple of real mild ones the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Not a lot of storms.
We were talking about somebody, was it Eli who brought up Katrina earlier? That one happened.
Yeah, he mentioned Katrina.
That happened in 2004, I believe? Yeah, 2004, I think.
Yeah, right around there.
And most of that flooding that happened because levees broke.
Yes, the levees. At least one of the levees, I think, was overtopped or failed. But I mean, New Orleans is a city built below sea level.
You're right.
On a river that even Mark Twain was making fun of the Corps of Engineers 100 years ago for their attempts to control its flooding, because it flooded every year. And so they channelized large sections of the Mississippi, the Corps of Engineers did, to control flooding. So essentially they built levees on either bank of the river to keep the river inside its bed.
I wonder what they have done to fix. Did the city engineers do anything to fix that after Katrina?
Not to my knowledge. I don't think they've completely rebuilt all of the neighborhoods that were destroyed in Katrina to this day.
There's still abandoned Six Flags, and it's half underwater.
Yeah,
and they're in.
I mean, there's a swamp to the southwest of New Orleans called the Atchafalaya. And that used to be a floodplain that the Mississippi would flood into. And every time it did, of course, it brought this whole load of silt, and which is very fertile soil. That's why a lot of farmers farm on river bottoms. But the problem is, the reason the river bottom is a great place to farm is because the soil got there because of flooding. So be prepared to head for higher ground. And New Orleans is pretty much all floodplain, and everything south of it. And the problem is the delta is getting smaller because the silt that's coming down down the Mississippi is, because it's channelized, it's moving fast enough that it doesn't drop off in the coastal plain or the swamps south of New Orleans. It actually just flies right off the edge of the continental shelf and drops into the main Gulf of Mexico basin. So the duck's foot that is the southern part of Louisiana on a map, or especially an old map, that's actually shrinking because erosion is taking it out, and the river's not the river's not restoring it every year. So they've solved one problem and created another, which is very common.
Right. I just put the link out in chat if everybody wants to come up and join us for a bit. I don't normally do that, but we'll see what happens. Paris is another one that's at sea level or below sea level, isn't it?
Paris, France?
Yeah.
No, that's on the Seine, which runs downhill to the ocean, but I don't think it's very high above sea level. And the Seine has flooded Paris before.
Hasn't it been sinking for years? Decades?
Oh, Venice is.
Yeah.
You may be thinking of Venice, Italy. Okay. Venice is built on islands in a lagoon, and everything there is literally built on mud in the lagoon, and they're all sinking.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I don't know why I said Paris.
Yeah. Venice is a medieval city where probably the first floor of every house that was built there, at least the old houses, he's probably been underwater for 100 years or more. Everybody's living on the second floor and up. What?
I was saying hello to Geek Hero Bubba. Just joined the chat.
Yep. Yeah. Venice is amazing. Is an amazing place, but you got to go everywhere by boat. It's essentially canals and plazas. There's pretty much no roads. Well, yeah. The Mountains of Elysium says Amsterdam is fairly low too. Most of the Netherlands is below sea level. They have their dikes to keep the North Sea out of the country. And they invented windmills to pump the water out of their fields because their problem isn't irrigation. Their problem is flooding. So they pump the water out with windmills. They don't pump water in like most people, like people here in Texas do. They have a windmill that brings water up from a spring and pumps it into a cattle tank. In Netherlands, most of their windmills, I think, are made basically to pump water out and into someplace else where it's less of a problem.
There's a show on I think it was one of the Discovery networks. It's Impossible Engineering. I always enjoy watching those because how they build certain things and how things were certain bridges or stadiums were built. It's quite interesting.
Yep. Oh, civil engineering's amazing. It really is.
Yeah,
some of the structures, just incredible.
They had the Panama Canal. I think they did a special on. They had to make the Panama Canal bigger because it was competing with another waterway for the ships to go through.
Yep. Well, yes, the Panama Canal limited. Couldn't take every modern ship because of its.
They had to expand it. I think they
exactly.
did expand it. Yeah.
Yeah. But the amazing thing about the Panama Canal was the design, because remember that's the second canal that was to be built across Panama. The French were going to do the first one. They did the Suez Canal, which is what's known as a sea level canal. You just drive in at one end, go down the length of it, drive out the other end, you're in a different ocean. They tried to do the same thing in Panama, except Panama is rainforest and mountains. And the French succumbed to yellow fever before they could even think about cutting a sea level cut all the way across the isthmus.
Farius, Rick Chowson, is that Darius? I see you backstage there. I don't just let anybody on my show. Okay. You haven't changed your avatar back. Oh, okay. Let's see. Hello.
Hey. Oh, sorry. I was retyping my name back in.
Okay. I've been on high alert since I'm a small channel and I get trolled. I don't know why I get trolled. I guess they think I've been a target's been painted on my back or something. But I do.
Yeah, I've seen it happen. Usually in replay of people coming on and it's not who they thought it was.
Yeah. So I always have to ask questions before I just let them up here. And I always have my finger on the trigger to like kick boot from the studio.
Although really, I should have responded in the regular chat, because anyone could have just said in the private chat that they were me.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually one of the biggest indicators, having been here as a wrench for Jedi Bill when a troll has shown up, is that a name shows up backstage that has not yet appeared in the public chat.
Yeah.
That is actually a red flag.
Yeah.
For a troll. So just so you know, Darius. That tends to be a no, I'm not sure I want to talk to you indicator, because that has happened.
Well, and I've seen a clip of the nameless one using the avatars of other people that were friends of ours.
Yes.
Yeah, but they do that. Captain Trek was saying that they have their own Twitter group and they don't have their own Discord
and Skype groups.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do.
Wow.
Yeah, Slasher told me they can use Skype groups. I'm not quite sure how it works yet, but
people still use Skype. I didn't think
not for long. Not for long.
I didn't still think they did. I mean,
you know why I haven't used Skype in a decade? Because every time I tried to log in, I would get locked out, and I'd have to create a new account to use Skype again, and I would get locked out.
Well,
yeah.
I'd sooner turn to Discord or StreamYard because it works just like Skype in a way.
Yeah, I mean we use Skype at work, but it's going away. They're actually pulling all support for it. It's
Are
going
they
to
replacing it
disappear.
with Teams?
Yes.
Okay, because I already use Teams at work.
Yeah, I use Teams as well. The problem is, as hard as it is for me to notice that somebody is pinging me on Skype because the icon shows up in my tray on the bottom of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Teams, it's even worse because it's a little indicator that pops up like you have mail on the bottom right corner, and then it goes away after like 10 seconds. And if I'm focusing on a piece of code and I don't see that little pop up, somebody is trying to get a hold of me, and 3 hours later, I'll be going in. Oh, what's going on? Oh, crap! Somebody was trying to get a hold of me 3 hours ago.
Yeah, I don't even have one for email. I hear a ding.
Right.
Yeah, my problem is that I have my headset on my laptop for meetings plugged in all the time, so the ding comes out of earphones on top of my desk lamp, so I don't hear it. Because I don't wear the earphones all day. It would drive me nuts.
Yeah,
So, Audible I don't get.
I get a little red number like Discord has, but at the bottom, so that if I get a Teams chat message, there's a counter that will count up. But for email, I have to manually check it or hear the ding.
Right. Well, we don't have an icon for Teams on the taskbar. It's in the little arrow to pop up the hidden icons in the taskbar. So it isn't sitting on the bottom of my screen all day. So it could increment all at once. I still won't see it. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be really hard to get a hold of people on an ad hoc basis from now on. This is terrible. But hey, that's what they're doing. But yeah,
you could write a script that will relay that information to you.
Yeah. Yeah, if I knew a scripting language, but I don't.
I had a friend. I had a friend who worked at GM, and he got pretty good at Visual Basic, and so he would automate most of his work.
Yeah.
And if anyone send him an email with a tech support question, he would just script a solution for them and send it an email. So when they read the email, it would just run itself and it would fix the problem for them because he didn't trust them to follow his instructions.
Right. Basically, I'm sending you some malware that'll fix your problem. Have a nice day.
Right. Yeah. Angel malware.
Exactly.
Bird still uses AOL.
You're kidding.
I thought
I was antiquated with Yahoo Mail.
I didn't even know such things still existed, like AOL and Yahoo.
Oh yeah. Yahoo still has news and mail.
Yeah, my mom uses Yahoo email.
You know, I've had a deep distrust of Google for years, so a Google email account wasn't my idea of a good idea.
Most of my email in Google is spam. I don't know how I got so much spam coming from. I don't know, but I get a lot in my Gmail account. I get a lot of spam and things that I'm like going, "What is this? And why am I getting it?" Okay.
Yeah, when people ask me why, what's the deal with my user / extension on YouTube, I have to explain. Yeah, it comes from AOL when I was 14, so that's that's why it's like a kid who's into Dungeons and Dragons. It's 20 years old. I could create a new one, but then I'd have to create a whole new Gmail.
I never used the internet in the 90s. I didn't start using the internet really until the 2000s.
Yeah, I didn't get it till right at the end. My family got a gateway computer with Windows ME and 56K dial-up modem and AOL.
Wow.
So it could only go up from there.
Gateway computers were so...
They were terrible. They were terrible.
Yeah.
And the guy who I think started the company, Chuck Snyder, Rick Snyder, he became governor of the state.
Wow.
He was like, "Hey guys, I'm a nerd," but
Uh-huh.
really, he was just an asshole.
Yeah.
We had a film incentive from Governor Granholm where if movies were filmed here and they employed a certain number of local residents, then they would get a tax cut. And a lot of like low to medium budget movies were getting filmed here. And then Governor Snyder cut it. I was pretty upset about that because I want to do like special effects and I didn't want to have to leave the state.
Oh, okay. What state is that?
Michigan.
Michigan, huh? Okay.
Yeah. So when I didn't really want everyone to know where I was from, I was just hoping people would think I was from Germany. But the RoboCop was like a clue
Right.
that I'm from Detroit. It was like a subtle hint. But yeah, they were filming a lot of movies here. I mean, you know, remember there was like Transformers was filmed in Detroit and Gran Torino.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I even saw a movie called All's Fair in Love filmed. It was in the process of filming at the Renaissance Festival. No announcement. It was just because I think I wanted to keep a low profile. And I don't know if I think it came out, but nobody saw it. And it has really low scores. But I saw them making it. In Red Dawn, I remember they set up a bunch of buildings downtown with like banners and stuff to look like, you know, the communist Chinese had taken over. But as you may recall, by the time that movie came out, it had been changed to North Korea in post.
Yep.
But I have photos of the original like set design.
Nice.
Yeah, they actually filmed a fairly major production just a couple of miles from my house in Massachusetts at the old Medfield, Massachusetts, what they called the state school, which was basically the mental hospital. And it's all boarded up now, but they opened it up for filming exteriors for Shutter Island.
Okay.
With Leonardo DiCaprio.
So, was that
all of
Danvers?
Pardon?
Was that called Danvers?
The movie was called Shutter Island.
Yeah, I know that, but the
I don't know where it was. I don't know. Well, I don't know where they said it was in the movie, but it was filmed in Medfield, Massachusetts. The institution's building exteriors were filmed at the old Medfield State School, and that was just down the road from me. We drove around there one day. It was about a 3-minute drive from my house. That was it.
Very
Other than that, nothing much ever happened there.
I think I still have family in Massachusetts from way back because like 10 generations ago, they came to Massachusetts Bay Colony.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I still have some distant cousins over there. Who knows? You could be one of them.
Well, I have no idea. I'm adopted.
Even so. So, Jedi Bill, as always, I want to ask you, how's the soup tonight?
Soup is good.
All right.
And plenty of it.
You know, I wanted to ask Paulie, if you guys did a crossover, would it be Midnight Menudo?
Probably.
I hope not.
Too far up. Not unlike the.
I would rather see Sopa de Noche.
Wasn't that the name of a boy band, Menudo?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's also
It was a band. It was a band.
Yeah, it was. I think didn't Ricky Martin come from Menudo?
Yes, he did.
It was like a huge boy band with tons of members, if I recall.
Yeah, they predate Boys. With that other big one from the late the 80s and 90s.
You're
Kids on
thinking
the
of
Block.
Backstreet
Yeah.
Boys or Boys to Men?
No, Backstreet Boys or Kids. I don't know why I said Kids on the Block, but
Oh, New Kids on the Block?
yeah.
Yeah, they were from the 80s.
80s/90s, yeah.
Oh, wow, Menudo formed in 1977.
The same year Star Wars came out.
Yeah,
Yep.
see, that's how I think of 77.
Yep.
I think of 77 as the year that my dad moved us from California to Colorado. So, yeah.
You live near Denver? Near Denver?
Yeah, in a town called Broomfield,
Okay.
which has become, since I've left, has become its own county and city. So, uh, just outside it, it's not too far from downtown Denver.
Yeah, my aunt lives up in the mountains there, and from her house on the side of a mountain, you can see most of Denver. And so when I visit her on vacation, I brought my telescope so I could get like a close-up view into the city. But I didn't see anyone sunbathing on the roof or anything.
Yeah, I had an aunt that lived in Colorado Springs, and I visited her once. And Colorado Springs is cool because the plains that rise out of Kansas into Colorado come to a rather abrupt end right on the west side of Colorado Springs, and you have a hill, and then a large hill, and then a mountain, and then Pikes Peak. And it's like towering above the city. It looks like the front range looks like a wall there.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
You ever look at it on Google Earth?
I haven't looked on Google Earth. I don't know why. I should have.
Yeah, you could see like the mountains. Like you actually get like a better 3D display than you get on Google Maps. And
Yep.
I was looking around like a few months ago around Denver and the mountains out there because I was looking for Mount Evans, which we climbed like 15 years ago. And you could see Pikes Peak, towering over the others. Because on Google Earth, you can actually zoom in real close. You could change the angle, so you can get almost like a ground level angle. And there's, it's got pretty good relief. And so the mountains, like obviously, it's not the same as being there. Nothing is the same as being there.
No, but yeah, it is impressive, and the east side of the Rockies is, it doesn't start with. It's not like the Appalachians, right? Which are very old mountains, much, much, much older than the Rockies.
Right.
The Appalachians start with, the ground starts to rise, and you get hills, and then it gets a little bit bigger and a little bigger, and then you start seeing what for the Appalachians are classified as mountains, and that's. If you go up to where I used to go hunting and fishing in Maine, you go from the foothills and it rises again and rises again. And finally you see this great big massif on the horizon from the top of a hill 25, 30 miles away. And that massif covered in snow is Mount Washington. And by November, it's completely covered in snow across the top third of the mountain. I mean, I think that mountain is probably only snow-free about a month and a half a year. And they're different. They look different because it's a much more gradual ramp up to the tallest peaks, whereas out on the east edge of the Rockies, it's just zoom and three peaks back from where you're standing, you're looking at a 14,000 plus foot peak, Pikes Peak,
Mhm.
and it's just like wow. So yeah, it's like looking at a wall. And the Salt Lake City is similar. Salt Lake City has, the on one side, on the west side, it has the eastern Sierras essentially, and on the west side, it has the Wasatch Range, which is a western subsidiary of the Rockies. And driving out of Salt Lake City to go skiing up in the Wasatch, you drive out of the city and you're just looking at this 3, 4, 5,000 foot set of peaks in front of you that are that far above where you are right now, and they're impressive. But yeah, beautiful area. I love it. Doesn't like me. I can't stand altitude. I do terribly. I get altitude sickness starting at around 8,000 feet above sea level, and get headaches and congestion and all the rest of the stuff. Just unpleasantness. I used to live on decongestants when I went skiing out there, until they discontinued the decongestant that worked.
Have either of you lived abroad in some other country?
Never lived, no.
No.
Visited, yes.
Visited, yeah.
No. I always wanted to, though.
Yeah. Well, the UK was one of them. One of my lists. If I've ever live in another country, I would live in the UK mainly because I speak English.
All right, but where in the UK would you want to live?
I don't. Probably somewhere near London. Probably. I don't know.
It's a big city. It's an old city.
Yeah.
Yep. Both, yeah.
And nobody has a gun.
Yeah. Yeah. True that.
Well, only a few of the police, right?
Only unless they have it
Right.
from the black market or something.
They got a lot of knives, though.
Yeah.
But that's not what you go to London for. You go to see the sights, see the bridge, see the clock tower. As I understand, Big Ben is actually the bell. Is that right?
What? Yeah.
Big
The-
Ben,
Big Ben is the
specifically-
clock, but it chimes
Yeah.
the hours.
Okay.
No, I'm going to say the Tower of London. That old
Yeah,
prison.
that would be cool.
The old prison. Very, very. It's supposed to be very haunted.
Mm.
No, I don't want to be. I don't want to marry the Queen. I can't believe she's still alive. Yeah, no, Thomas Potts. No.
She became the queen when my mom was 2 years old. And my mom is 70 now. So she's been around a long time. She's been queen a long time.
Yep.
Is it the longest reign ever?
It's got to be close to, if not the longest. Yeah, because she was in her early to mid 20s when her father died and she became queen.
Yeah, but I wonder, does she have all her marbles, or is she forgetful of things at her age?
Well, I heard, or I read somewhere that when one of the princes of Saudi Arabia came to visit her, and she took him up to that property in Scotland. I'm trying to remember the name of it. And
Balmoral.
yeah, Balmoral. And it's pretty rural out there, and the Queen likes Range Rovers. And she's kind of diminutive, but the prince wasn't used to women driving, but it was the Queen, so he wasn't going to argue. And so he hopped in the passenger seat, and she hops in and starts driving, and she just starts taking off at top speed, driving around the hills and the bumps in Balmoral. And he was like, "Your Majesty, slow down, please." And she was just like,
I think when it counts, she's all there.
yeah,
Wow.
I don't know. I I kind of like the queen. I don't know her personally, but she does seem kind of cool. I mean, she was an auto mechanic in World War II. I can't prove that she's not a lizard person.
Yeah.
Thomas says she's the fourth longest
Yep.
reigning monarch in world history. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are the other three?
I could find out. All right, number 1. Well, no, I'll do it backwards. So number 4 is Elizabeth II. The third is Johann II, who was the king of Liechtenstein. The second is Bumboy Adulyadej, king of Thailand, also known as Rama IX. And number 1 is Louis XIV of France. 72 years, 110 days.
Wow. Such a long reign.
Right, but he was the boy king, right?
Yes, I believe he was.
So he was pretty young. Let's see. Started in 1643. He was born in 1638. Yeah. So he was just a little kid.
Yep.
Well, okay, those are some of the longest. Does anybody know some of the shortest reigns in this country? King Tut comes to mind.
Yeah, he didn't last long.
He was a product of incest, I believe.
Well, he was also the son of a pharaoh that tried to change the religion of Egypt.
Oh, yeah.
And his father was so hated that after Tut was gone, all of his father's cartouches were chiseled out of every wall where they appeared.
Is that Amenhotep?
I'm on.
Amun-Ra?
I'm not sure. I won't. I'm not going to say.
Okay.
But yeah. Tutankhamun is like the son of the sun god, and his father. No, Akhenaten, I believe, was his father.
Okay.
And Akhenaten was the one who tried to turn Egypt into a monotheistic society, and they rebelled against the very idea. And that was why he was completely erased. And that's part of the reason his son didn't stand a chance, because he was the son of the most hated pharaoh in living memory.
Mm-hmm.
And he was only, 16 or 17 or 18 years old when when he ascended the throne. So he didn't stand much of a chance.
Because Amun was the god, right? That
yes,
Amun, that they had replaced.
And yes. But yeah, that's a weird one. That's a really weird episode in Egyptian history if you study, ancient Egyptian history, and the period following this is after the pyramids were built, quite a long ways after, actually, for most of them. It's fascinating because that's an ancient civilization that makes the Greeks look like a bunch of newcomers.
Yeah. And I heard that King Tut had red hair. I don't know if that's confirmed.
Red hair?
Yeah,
I don't know how
he was a ginger. I don't know how they concluded that, to be honest.
I could look it up, but I have like 40 tabs open.
Welcome, Eagle Rider.
Eagle Rider.
Hello.
AKA Rosetta.
Yes.
You're up late?
I've been working on my dragon.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Getting
wow.
there slowly. Slowly getting there.
That looks
Got
amazing.
a lot left to do yet.
Wow. Very cool.
Not
that
bad
looks
for a day's
amazing.
work so far.
That's a day's work.
Yeah. I started it last night.
Wow.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That is.
I did most of the dragon stuff that's done on the dragon so far, which I haven't finished the foot here and the tail down the body yet, but I did most of everything on the dragon and stuff during my afternoon stream today.
Oh, very nice.
Just like that one's one of mine, along with the ones up there are all different paint projects of mine.
On a side note, the angle of that light looks really good on your hair.
That's all I've got right now. There's no actual fixed lighting in this room, and I just have one lamp. But I need to get a white light over here too for when I'm doing night streams, so my writing desk doesn't look yellow.
Or what are those ring LED lights?
Not LEDs. My eyes, the light sensitivity picks up the strobe in LEDs because they flicker.
Right. Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Yvette confirms that Big Ben is the bell. The tower is called Elizabeth Tower.
Yeah.
Thank you, Yvette.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
How's our friend Richard, Eagle Rider?
Still passed out, but doing well today. I'm just trying to figure out what's next on this thing. There's so much work to do.
You're up late this morning, or early. I don't know if it's late or early for you.
2 a.m. here.
But, yeah, well.
But one of the things I love on this is it has the tail goes through the castle, and you can see just the destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm still painting. It was casted in this black resin, but they didn't paint it. They just did the black resin, and it didn't look right. And especially with the dragon type is obviously a fire dragon, and then castles were pale grays. And so it's like it didn't look right, and you couldn't see most of the details. But it's so pretty. I have to paint it. I have to give it life.
Yeah.
When I finish painting the dragon, I'll come back through the gold bones here. I'm going to detail with a little bit of a soft black metallic and the edgings.
I have something like that, but it's in a box in my closet. I can't have it out because I was afraid with all these cats running around it would get knocked over, and it's also whatever material they use to make it out of. It's in black. Mine has 2 dragons, and cats will run into it.
I've been making dragon statues for years. I've made more of these things. And usually, it's just how it is for me.
Good to see you, Carlo.
I've sold most of them and given most of them away and stuff, and I just like making dragons.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So since you're working on the dragon, how's the other projects coming along?
They're coming along pretty good. I've been so overworked and overstressed trying to help Richard the last few weeks. I'm trying to just do something kind of fun and silly for me.
Nice.
You know?
I was going to ask you, how's the pinup girls doing?
They're coming good. I knew it was going to be a long project. It's probably going to be longer than I even thought because it's just so much work to do on each one.
Now, was that going to be as a calendar or a comic book?
That's going to be as a book. I'm thinking of actually taking a bunch of the black and white scans and actually creating a coloring book of it too. That'll just go up on sale somewhere. But It's been exhausting work. And I won't show you my latest drawings, which would get your channel in trouble.
Oh, ooh.
Spicy, are they?
They can't be that spicy.
They're either bondage based or naked cat girls with guns. Which one do you want to do?
Oh, you can't go wrong. We'd have to go over to Odyssey to do that.
Yes, we would.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I like them, but they're good drawings. They would
I
get
make
you in
it
trouble.
So I can broadcast to Odyssey. I have an account with Odyssey. I just need to get it so I can go live on Odyssey. Well, that would still be questionable, though, I guess. If it's that risque. Bubba Hodam was in the chat earlier. Thought he would come up here and talk about his book. Geek Hero Bubba, another artist.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah.
I've talked to him a long time over on Twitter and gotten to talk to him a bit on a couple streams recently.
Nice, Thomas. King Louis the 19th was king for about 14 to 20 minutes. Richard, does that answer your question? Or Bill, was that your question?
Yeah, I asked
Yeah.
who had the shortest reign.
The shortest. I did start looking that up. Looks like he beat me to it.
Yeah, that's probably the record right there.
What, was assassinated by the people? Or
Yep, that is the number one, 14 to 20 minutes. I don't think presidents are included in the list, though.
No,
Is
that's not Monarch.
Yep. See,
How
Louis
many-
Philippe, 25 minutes.
How many monarchs are there still active in the world? I wonder. Does anybody know that?
I think Bhutan has a queen. And Denmark.
Yep. And Great Britain.
Great Britain.
And I don't know, Liechtenstein probably does.
I think you might be right about that. And then doesn't Monaco have like
Yes.
a duke?
It has a prince.
Prince. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I went to college with him.
Oh, really?
Yep. Prince Albert of Monaco. He was a senior when I was a freshman in college, and I sang in the Glee Club with him. I met him.
Was he cool?
He was a nerd. He was a complete frickin' nerd, but not a pop culture nerd. He was an economics and politics nerd, and he was insufferable. So he has the perfect job for him. He has the perfect job.
You talk about that kind of nerd, though. My husband's an avionic engineer. I can handle dry nerds.
Yeah, no, he was probably because he'd been told since he'd been a toddler, you're going to be the Prince of Monaco someday, so you have to get ready. And by the time he was in college, he had internalized that, and he was getting ready to succeed his father, Prince Rainier, as the Crown Prince of Monaco. So he is the Crown Prince of Monaco now, has been for some time.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't his mother Grace Kelly?
Yes, she was.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right.
All right. Oh, there's actually quite a few modern day monarchs. Wow. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Andorra. I didn't even think about that. Well, the head of Andorra is two people, right? Yeah, the head of France and the Archbishop. Yeah, I think they share leadership of Andorra.
Hmm.
Oh well, this list is including like Commonwealth of Australia. You know, I count the Commonwealth as one.
Right. Yeah, but Andorra's the size of a not much bigger than a parking garage.
Yeah.
Hey, it still counts.
Oh, I
counts.
know.
It's
I
small,
know.
but it counts.
Monaco is Monaco is a beach,
Right.
practically. It's a harbor. It's really what it is. Monaco's a harbor.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Order. I apologize.
It's okay.
He said small but counts, and I thought of so many bad things at once.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Bahrain has a king. Belgium has a king. Bhutan, has a king. I was wrong. I thought I had a queen. Brunei has a sultan. Cambodia has a king. Denmark has a queen. I'm not even familiar with the kingdom of Eswatini, but it has a king. Of course, Japan has an emperor. Luxembourg has a Grand Duke.
Yeah. Yes, Thomas or Carlo. It can't count.
No.
Oh,
So
yep.
technically,
Monaco.
Luxembourg is
There's
a
your buddy.
Grand Duchy. Yep.
Yep, the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg.
Yep.
The Principality of Monaco with your old
Right.
friend. The Kingdom of Morocco. Kingdom of Norway.
Does Sweden
Oman has-
still have a king?
Let's see. Yes, the Kingdom of Sweden. King Carl the 26th Gustav. Thailand has a king. UAE has a
Wow.
president. And yes, Thomas, the Pope is included on this list, the head of the Vatican City State.
Yep.
Oh.
And it's the only one listed as an absolute theocracy.
It is.
Yes, it is.
And Carlos says the country seemed to be more stable with a king or queen and a government to run it. Well, that's
But
one perspective.
that I'm always what UK has a prime minister. That's what I never got. It's a monarchy, but there's a prime minister.
It's a weird cross point between
Well-
monarchy and minister at this point.
Okay, Jedi Bill, it's actually fairly clearly cut. The King or Queen of England is the head of state. The Prime Minister is the head of government. Governments can come and go, sometimes weekly. The state is the country.
Right.
In the United States, we have a president who is both head of state and head of government. So the two roles are combined. And it's very common to have a monarch who is head of state and a parliamentary system with the prime minister as head of the government, which essentially represents the majority party in the legislature.
All right, Red Shirt. Do you know of the only country in the world with no land?
Only country in the world with no land. Oh, there's a good one.
What?
No, I have to say that I don't.
It is the Sovereign Military Order of Malta.
What?
There's a whole complicated history as to why, which I won't get into. But yeah, it's still a recognized country by the UN, but it has no land.
And Carlos says Kuroga.
Kuroga, yes.
Uh, oh, okay. Thank you, Thomas.
And Germany, of course, has a chancellor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the German chancellor is the equivalent of prime minister.
Right. Smallest countries in the world. Of course, the Vatican is the smallest. Monaco, Nauru, Tuvalu. Oh, yeah, Tuvalu is a little island.
Is
So is Nauru.
Mhm.
is Canada
Hmm.
under rule of the Queen of England or UK? Are they still considered under the UK? Well, Canada.
Oh, I was leaving that one for red shirt.
Oh, they're part of the Commonwealth, but and they recognize the Queen as sovereign, but she is purely. I mean, in Canada, even more than in England, I believe she is purely a figurehead, head of state, not, and the government simply is run by the prime minister. The Isle of Man's an interesting one. The Isle of Man recognizes the Queen of England as its sovereign, but pays absolutely no attention to Parliament. So no English law applies on the Isle of Man. So they have their own parliament. They write their own laws. They just recognize the Queen of England as their head of state. So one of the reasons I know that is because Top Gear's been there to film a segment, because in the middle of the island, where essentially it's mountains and farms and no towns, there are no speed limits. You can go as fast as your bravery will allow.
Actually, I have something to tell you about the no speed limits thing, because that was true in the old days in fuck's sake, over in Montana when I was getting my license, and they had less accidents per person and per car with no speed limit than they have now that the feds force them to instate one.
Yes. Montana had please try to drive less than 80 miles an hour, but we won't stop you if you don't.
What they had was the signs was literally said things like your discretion or safely or stuff like that as speed limit signs.
Right.
And no, they wouldn't do a thing to you if you were going 120 as long as you weren't endangering others.
Exactly. Yeah, Montana famously had no legislated speed limit at all. And the feds leaned on them during the 55 mile an hour period.
Which was right after I went through Job Corps in Montana. I got my license under the no speed limit.
Right.
So, and it was fine because everyone knew exactly what the roads were. They knew you're responsible. More the fines and the levies if you did something reckless and hurt somebody were heavier, but they didn't micromanage you. So if you were caught recklessly endangering other people, tailgating, being abusive, or causing an accident, your punishment was so much higher. But they didn't micromanage you and tell you how to drive. And what they found was, if people thought they were going to get bigger punishments, they managed them fucking selves and quit acting as big of douches.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing to remember is that the way before the 55 mile an hour mandate, the way that speed limits were set was that a road would be built and sensors would be placed on it to measure the speed of the traffic. And they would allow traffic to drive on the road for 2 or 3 weeks. And they'd measure the speed of every car. And they would graph how many cars were driving at every speed on the road. And they would draw a line through that graph at 85% of the top speed. So 85% of the drivers are driving at the speed they marked or below, and 15% are exceeding it. They would set the speed limit on that road at the 85% level. And then law enforcement only had to deal with the 15% that wanted to drive faster than that. That doesn't exist anymore. It hasn't existed since I was a child.
There was an interesting situation because they tried to push 55 as a requirement for all interstates again during the Obama terms. And they were aggressively saying they were going to go after states if they don't use 55 and stuff like that. And when they started that, the highways from Idaho through Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, and into Minnesota were all 65 to 75.
Yep.
All of them except for Minnesota, when he pushed that, literally said, fuck you, and boosted it to 80. Speed limit on the interstate now through Montana, Wyoming, and South Dakota is 80.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good for them.
Yep. Well, you have to remember, and maybe you don't, that the 55 mile an hour speed limit was originally set to save gas. And when the oil crisis ended, the feds didn't want to relinquish that control, so they changed the story that the 55 mile an hour speed limit was now to save lives. But it was originally to save fuel.
There's a song, if you can look it up online, from Remy called People to Die, which is literally making fun of politicians using lives to excuse anything to try to take power.
Mm-hmm.
That if you don't, you just want people to die.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, literally there was less. When they boosted it to 80, and a bunch of different states did it, because they didn't want this bullshit. They didn't want the government getting involved. You're trying to cross. Okay, South Dakota, across the state, is about 450 miles. Other than the Badlands and the Black Hills, it's all fucking rural farmer shit. Nobody wants to go 300 miles through farm prairies at fucking 55.
No.
Nobody.
No. And you
You're
just
like
linger.
Sammy Hagar. You can't drive 55.
55.
Well, it's like the Australian outback. They instituted a 70 mile an hour speed limit. Tried to a couple of years ago, and you have to understand that for some of the people who live in the Northwest, the Northern Territory, in the middle of the outback, their driveway is 110 miles long. Then it's 150 miles to the nearest town with a grocery store. So to tell them you can't drive more than 70 miles an hour, they're like, are you out of your mind? If there's no road trains on the road, I'm going to go as fast as my car will go. Because I have to get there and back before tonight. So, yeah, that met with great resistance because, of course, the people who wrote the law lived in Sydney, right, in a city where they're in an urban environment where the speed limit's 50 kilometers an hour most of the places. They can't imagine driving 110 miles an hour for 2 hours to get to a grocery store.
Well, listen, I grew up in the mountains. I grew up in Black Hills. So I'm talking about these states. This is the area I grew up in, I came from and stuff. So there's the bias areas. You live where my parents live. It's 80 miles to get to one place to do shopping. To do the errands they have to do and to get the stuff they need. To get dad to the doctors that are available for the res stuff. To get to the res and take care of all the obligations. To get to the city and get all the other supplies. Their day drive that they have to do all these errands and get back to their house is approximately 400 to 500 miles. And they have to stop constantly along the way to do errands and load the car full of food and medicine and other stuff and deal with doctors. They can't do that at 55 miles an hour.
No.
Well, I mean, here in Central Texas, I live 20 miles from the nearest supermarket that is of any size. I have a small town not that far from me, about 15 miles away, 10 to 12 miles away, that has a limited selection. But to get to a full, honest to goodness supermarket is 20 miles. And to get to the far side of Waco is a 45-minute drive, depending upon which route I take. And that's just to go run an errand in the city, quote unquote. So you plan out, I need to go here, 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 and here, and we're going to bundle all these together into one trip in, hit all these places, and then drive home. You don't drive in to go to the pharmacy today, the grocery store tomorrow, like I used to do in Massachusetts, because the pharmacy was 3 miles away and the grocery store was a half mile away. You package up a bunch of errands you've got to run and then go do them.
My husband took me to where he grew up. He grew up near Seattle, up in Puget Sound near BC in the islands. So to get any store where they could get supplies involved taking multiple ferries and going into the town to get groceries. So you're talking about 2-3 hours just taking the ferries just to get to the banks of the continent, to drive into the city to get supplies, to have to take hours of ferries back. So it was coolers lining the back seat and pockets to hold stuff in. And this is an all-day event. We're getting everything we're going to need the next couple months kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, you buy for a long you buy for a long time. You don't buy for the next 4 or 5 days. You buy for the next 2 weeks at minimum.
But I'm probably going to go to bed because I'm about to pass out and I've still got paint all over me. I have to go scrub off.
Oh, yeah, you probably should do that.
That's the sign of an artist. We end up like this with paint marks, red and green. Because when you're working, you're just going to work. Ah, fuck it. I got paint on me. I still got to finish this piece.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yes,
Good
thank
night.
you for stopping by.
Have a good night, boys.
Okay.
Have a good night,
It's
Rosetta.
Like that, she's gone.
And she's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to just get graphite all over the edge of my hand. But since I started doing all my art on computers, then I just get cramps.
Carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
Oh, you're an artist too? Nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have 2 jobs right now, so it's doesn't leave me a lot of art time.
Oh.
But yes, in theory, I'm a 3D modeler / animator. But they don't let you do that if you can't draw first.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they do, but they're not supposed to. And so, I'm used to being around a whole spectrum of people from artistic to, technically minded. You got the good visual artists at one end and you got the programmers at the other end. And then you got me right in the middle.
Well, that's how Pixar got started. What turned Pixar into the powerhouse that it became was that they hired an animator to work with the computer geniuses they had who were writing the software that would render things. But they had no idea how to render an animated cartoon. So they created, because remember, if you don't know, Pixar started out selling graphics software and hardware processing.
Yeah, the Pixar was actually a machine.
Yes, the Pixar was a machine, and it was a bunch of software you could buy that would do various things. And in order to sell it, they created a small group in-house of several of their PhD geniuses who were literally beavering away, creating new software tools. And they hired this guy who was an animator. And he comes in, and I'm sorry, I apologize. I forget his name. I just saw a documentary about it.
Yeah.
But he was the animator until very recently at Pixar. And
John Lasseter.
yes, thank you,
Yep.
John Lasseter. So they hire John Lasseter, and John Lasseter comes in and he goes, "What are these people doing? I'm used to, pen, ink, pencil, whatever."
Because he went to CalArts.
They're typing code.
Mhm.
And he said, I'm going to have to sit down with these people. It's the only way this is going to work. So he would sit literally elbow to elbow with one of the programmers and go, can you render a circle on top of a hot dog? And be like, well, yeah, I can do that. He go, okay, do that. Let's see what it looks like. And keys tapping, and okay, here we go. Enter, run, and there's a circle on top of a hot dog. Okay, can we put some more hot dogs as arms and a couple of hot dogs as legs? And he's basically giving the guy some shapes to work with. And the first video they did was exactly that. A bunch of loosely connected shapes that together, because he animated it, you recognize as a single character. And they went on from there. And I've got the first collection of Pixar shorts, and I love them because you can see from the mid 80s on the evolution of computer animation. And I want to get the next two collections as well. But the one that, of course, broke out was the one that's now the Pixar logo, the little tensor lamp that jumps in and jumps up and down on the eye in Pixar until it flattens it.
Oh, Luxo Jr.?
Yeah, Luxo Jr. So they did the Luxo and Junior, and Junior was playing with a little inflated ball until he jumped on it one too many times and it goes flat. And he rolls off of it and he looks and tries to tip it up and it doesn't go anywhere. And the thing is, what Lasseter managed to do was make it clear that there are emotions going on here. There's excitement, there's sadness, there's disappointment on behalf of, and all of this. And he talked about when they finally put this out at a trade show, it came up, and he said, it had a lovely little soundtrack by so-and-so, but nobody ever heard it because the minute the video started, everybody started screaming and whistling and clapping, and nobody ever heard the soundtrack. And it played to absolute acclaim from beginning to end. And people were just blown away by this little computer animated video of these two tensor lamps. And at the party afterwards, Lasseter was standing there with a drink, and this guy he knew was a industry expert on computers and computer software and algorithms from MIT. And he made a beeline for Lasseter, and Lasseter said, "Oh God, he's going to ask me about the shading program. And I have no idea how that works because that's not what I do."
Mm.
And the man came up to him and said, "John, I just want to ask you one question. Was the parent tensor lamp a mother or a father?" And Lasseter said, and I went to myself, "Yes, we did it." He didn't notice the technology. He was paying attention to the characters on the screen. And that was Pixar's breakout. That's why it's I think that's why it's their logo now and to this day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're brilliant. They're absolutely amazing. And those I'm a fan of animation going back to the Warner Brothers cartoons with Bugs Bunny and all those. And I love Pixar's early animation because it was everything they did was brand new. Nobody had ever done this before. Nobody had ever seen anything like it. And it was that way for years.
Yeah, thank you, Frog. I just checked it. It's now up to $5,240. That's
Awesome.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
It's so quick.
Jedi Bill,
Yep.
I'm going to have to get up and
Okay.
yeah, head for the sack because I got to get up and get to a meeting tomorrow. It's not the crack of dawn, but it's dawn isn't come. Dawn is not going to be far away here, so I'm going to say so long, farewell. I'll beat us in. I do, and thank you very much for having me on here.
Oh, thank you for dropping in. Appreciate it.
No, it's always fun.
Yeah.
And Darius, pleasure talking with you, and everybody in the chat. Be seeing you.
Be seeing
Yep.
you.
Yep.
We'll be seeing you. See you around, Richard. Oh, great. That is amazing. That's just wow.
Yeah, no, I actually have not seen that documentary yet, and I'm really into Pixar. I've read a book called The Pixar Touch, which is about the origins of Pixar and the people that formed it, and what they did to make it into what it is. And then Ed Catmull, was the head of Pixar until very recently, he put out a book called Creativity Incorporated. Not quite as much content in that book. It's a bit of Pixar history and a bit of business, but Pixar also pops up in the Steve Jobs biography.
Oh,
because Steve Jobs bought the company from George Lucas when it started as his George Lucas's graphics group, because Lucas wanted to do digital. It's like digital sound, digital editing, and special effects. And so he formed a graphics group out of mostly University of Utah graduates, where they had been developing, the CGI technology, 3D modeling and animating and texturing. I think Ed Catmull even developed a texture mapping process and the Z buffer, which sounds like nonsense, but it's a big deal because the Z buffer is how you determine what order to render things in. So you're not rendering background objects in front of foreground objects. And, but they were building an actual computer for George Lucas called the Pixar that would let him do all the stuff he wanted to do, digitally. But when he went through his horrible divorce, he had to sell off certain parts of his company. So he sold off the graphics group, which was making the Pixar, which nobody seemed to want to buy. And Steve Jobs bought it. But he saw the potential in the company that the employees and the people running it wanted, which was to make animated feature films. So there's a good bit of history in the Steve Jobs book about that, but I really like Pixar.
Yeah, if Pixar Disney didn't buy it, did they?
They did.
They did purchase.
Yeah, it was a little while back. It was like 2007. I'll look it up.
Damn it.
Yeah, he's been buying everything.
Another Mouse House owned.
Right. Well, that's why. It was like last week. I was mentioning that. If so let's say you're a 3D animator. Well, where are you going to work? That's not Disney. Unless you could video games, but if you want to make animated features, Disney's it. And they've bought other companies like Blue Sky Studios, which was part of the Fox acquisition. And that's been shut down. Pixar is Disney. I believe ILM is Disney now because they bought Lucasfilm.
I hope. Yeah, Lucasfilm. I don't know if I hope they don't own ILM. I think they were own entity there. ILM has revolutionized filmmaking as we know it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a division of Lucasfilm. So I think Disney probably owns that too.
Son of a bitch.
My friend made a good point though. You know how Hollywood is wanting to bail out, so they don't go out of business. Because it'll be catastrophic if we go out of business. Like, but will it though? I mean, just imagine if Disney went out of business. Would that really be so bad? I mean, think of all the other studios that would now have room to make whatever they wanted, right? And all that talent has to go somewhere. All the animators have to go somewhere. The actors and the cameramen, they got to go somewhere. And so, yeah, there's other companies, but you'd get startups, and you'd get smaller studios would have more available market share.
Right.
So it's my personal opinion, and anyone can disagree, but it's my opinion that Disney going out of business would be a great thing for the economy and for the industry, the various industries that they loom over now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I think there's maybe someday there will be some new Rise studio out there.
Well, and think about this. If they went out of business, they'd probably liquidate those IPs.
Yeah.
And someone else would get them.
Yeah.
And, sure, it could be anyone, but how much worse could it really be than it already is?
Yeah.
Who's going to do Star Wars worse than Disney already has been doing?
I would have, if I could have had a time machine, I would definitely tell George, go, if you sell to anybody, sell your IP to the fans and not the house of mouse, because they won't do good by you, George.
Thomas says it won't be good for the people working for Disney, meaning the lower level people.
Yeah.
Well, sure, they would go out, they'd be out of work. Yeah, I don't know how long they'd be out of work. But surely new work would come along. I don't know. Maybe that's naive of me. But I don't think they would never work again. Because what Disney provides is still something that people want, right? We want to watch movies. We want to watch cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
And if they were gone, someone else would have to make it.
Right, exactly.
And, would I rather have a lot of the content we're getting from them now or nothing at all? I don't know, man. I'm just saying in the long run, it might be healthy.
Right.
But I could be wrong. Like people working the parks and studios, not the executives. They have money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. People that don't have like the savings and the investments that the executive have.
People want to watch more YouTube than other films. I don't know. Well,
yeah, but a lot of us here already do.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even watch like movies and TV shows anymore. Even when I get a recommendation, I don't do it.
Network television, like, okay, the main network television to me were ABC, NBC, CBS. I can't name one program or TV show that I watch from them currently right now that's new. I'm now into my 4th year as a cord cutter, so I stream all my TV through a Roku device.
Mm-hmm. Well, for the last year or so, I've been watching, because I go through phases of different types of stuff that I watch on YouTube, but I've been watching a lot of pop culture stuff, right? Fandom stuff. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times they'll analyze and review new shows and new movies that come out. And it makes me want to watch them. But a lot of the time I still don't. I have been watching. I watch movies and TV shows like one day a week, pretty much Friday when I'm with my girlfriend, and then the rest of the time I really just watch YouTube. So even when I get a recommendation for something, I don't always watch it. I'm watching the YouTube instead of watching TV, instead of watching movies, and sometimes I'm watching YouTube where they're talking about them, which has sort of taken the place of those shows. Like, remember Resident Alien? It came out and everyone said it was great.
No.
Oh, well,
Anyway.
yeah, it was on Sci-Fi Channel, and they kept trying to push it, be like, watch it. It's good. It's something that's actually good. Watch it. And I'm like, I will have to watch that. I still haven't watched it. But I'm still watching the channel that told me to watch it.
Right. Well, that's good. You don't think anyone cared?
I don't
Anymore?
think he cared anymore. But, is he talking about you? That I'm talking
I don't
about
know.
stuff that you don't care about? Let me know if let me know if I'm talking nonsense.
No. It's all good, man.
Good day, Thomas.
Thomas, you're on your way out? Okay. Go enjoy those sparkly vampires, because I won't.
Why is he always talking about those sparkly vampires? He's like teasing about Twilight.
Yeah, it's an ongoing joke. It was probably last summer around June when I did a stream about vampires, and I mentioned something about not that damn franchise, and then there was another YouTuber who got it out there about the sparkly vampires. And it hasn't left since that time. It lingers around still.
Carlos says Twilight Marathon for Jedi Bill. So, how many of those movies have you seen?
Well, I took Nina, the boss, to see them when they ran originally.
So you've seen them all?
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw one in the theater.
And then I watched them. I watched 2 so far because the ongoing joke. That's a way to torture me to watch them. Frog G Zero, you're lucky. You're lucky, Frog G. They're not worth the time.
I see that look on your face whenever people bring up the sparkly vampires.
Yeah. The face I'm making right now.
Right. Not a fan.
No.
So I didn't see the first one. I saw like the third or fourth one in the theater because my ex was really into it for some reason. And so I come in not knowing the characters and the story. Okay, whatever. And it got so weird. Like someone had a baby, and like the werewolf guy fell in love with the baby. And it was just I don't know. It was a little disturbing. Maybe it makes more sense in the book.
I don't know.
We're soul bonded now. You've seen it. It still doesn't make sense.
No, I don't care.
Anyway, okay. What's the best vampire movie?
My favorite vampire movie? Well, it would be Fright Night.
Which one?
The original one from the 80s.
I'll put that on my list. I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen either one.
Lost Boys. Lost Boys.
The one with Kiefer Sutherland.
Yes. Kiefer Sutherland as a vampire. And then, of course, Bram Stoker's Dracula from '92.
Oh, yeah. With Gary Oldman and Keanu Reeves.
Yes. And
who's the girl in that one?
That would be the shoplifter chick.
Oh, Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder, yeah.
Of course.
I don't know why I so sure you were, because you got in trouble and they hardly shunned her about. Well, that might have been the start of cancel culture right there, because she shoplifted. Because Pee Wee Herman was in a place and he was, well, he was his own best friend.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, he was his own best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They really roasted him on that. But eventually people got over it.
Yes, Interview with a Vampire, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is very good.
Yeah, I read that book. That gets a little weird, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, the girl is only, like, I don't know, 10 to 12 years old.
Yeah.
In the book. And so she's, like, immortal, but she's always going to be a child.
Yeah. Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. I enjoyed Tom Cruise's Lestat. When they made Queen of the Damned, that came out late 90s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't enjoy the next guy too. Yeah, who played Lestat.
Who was that? Stuart Townsend.
Yeah. I thought I enjoyed Tom Cruise's Lestat better.
For sure. Ooh, Carlos says Nosferatu. That's a classic.
No, the TV made for TV movies, the Salem's Lot was good. Then you had Christopher Lee play Dracula in the movies.
Yeah, what was the name of that one? Just Dracula?
Yeah.
Oh, Dracula, Prince of Darkness.
There's so many. Yeah, there's so many.
Dracula has risen from the grave. Taste the blood of Dracula. Scars of Dracula. Dracula AD 1972.
I think that's that might have been the one.
The Satanic Rites of Dracula. And Horror of Dracula. Oh, that's only 1958. Peter Cushing's in that?
Yeah.
I didn't know he did so many of them.
Oh, yeah, and the Hammer horror ones.
Mm-hmm. Carlos says 8 Forever. Is that the name of one? Forever.
Oh, yeah. Dracula Dead and Loving It. Yeah, that's the Mel Brooks one. Yeah, Christopher Lee. Yeah, the 1958, the horror Dracula. Well, he played it and then he played it again in 1966. Yeah.
What's the one where George Hamilton was a vampire?
That is one. Oh, I have that movie. What's the name of it? Can't think of the name of it. I own it, and I can't think of the name of it.
Love at First Bite.
Love at First Bite. Yeah. And they used for some reason for many years I thought this one song, this disco song, was associated, maybe because they used it in a trailer or something, but it was never in the film, and I was like, where's this thought was attached to this movie? It was I like the nightlife. I like the book with this. I love the nightlife.
Oh yeah, I got to boogie.
I used to, like here. I'm like, what the hell? I remember distinctively that song being a part of the movie, but it was only part. They only used it just to get attention. And I remember having my uncles take me to that movie in 78. 77 when it came out.
And you were hoping the song would be in the movie?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say it was like a Mandela effect.
No.
Where like you swear that it was in the movie, and then when you rewatch it, it's not there.
Yeah. Nope. It wasn't there.
Let's see. Oh, Carlos says Buffy was okay, but Angel was better, but not great. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed them, but not everything. I liked Buffy, but I liked Angel better. I don't know. I mean, I was a teenager. I also liked Smallville at the time, which I can't stand anymore.
Yeah. You know that there was the movie Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Two of the actors are now no longer with us. Rutger Hauer was in that one, and the guy from 90210 who's no longer with us. What was his name?
90210.
He
Luke
was
Perry?
Luke Perry, yeah.
Oh yeah, he died in 2019.
Yeah. Hello, V-Star. Good to see you.
Hey, Nancy.
Yeah. Great to see you.
Although Carlo also points out Vampire Hunter D as a good anime.
Yeah, that was a good anime. Yeah. Oh, and the only actor who I think should play Blade, Wesley Snipes. You know, people didn't like the third Blade movie.
I saw it in the theater.
It's part of a series, a set of 3. So I enjoyed it because it's a whole of a trilogy. So. And a lot of people talk badly about that one being the worst one of them all, the third installment of. But it still was Wesley Snipes.
Right. It had the most comedy in it because it had Ryan Reynolds.
You're right.
He was jacked in that movie, but he was also comedic.
You're right.
And they almost kind of broke the fourth wall when he's like, "Hello, my name is fuck you." What is that, a joke?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Jessica Biel had the bow and arrow. Didn't she have a bow and arrow?
Yeah.
And had her headphones in.
And she doesn't do much anymore. I don't think. I haven't seen her do movies, or she might be acting in. I don't know.
Oh, and that was the one with Triple H in it.
Yep. Triple H. And they had the dogs that were vampire dogs. They had a
forgot about
Pomeranian that had a big mouth full of teeth, and it's like Pomeranians are known for having bad breath and bad teeth. So it was kind of funny to see a vampire Pomeranian in that movie.
Yeah, I forgot about that part actually. Let's see. Bubba said Blade Trinity was good. People need to relax.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. A lot of people still talk badly about that one. Well, cares. It's done. It's over. And
Right. Well, people talk about it being like corny. Well, let's not forget that in the first one, Blade says, "Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill."
yeah,
And the second one was like an all-out, like special effects horror movie by Guillermo del Toro, which was basically just vampires versus super vampires.
Oh, there's that one movie from the 80s, Life Force. It was about space vampires. They had this one poor lady actress who had to roam around naked for almost the entirety of the film. It was cheesy and corny, but it was a vampire movie.
Vampires
from space. Yeah. Vampires. It's, like pigs from outer space. Vampires in space.
Oh, wow. Patrick Stewart was in it?
Mm-hmm.
Said it's based on a novel that was actually called The Space Vampires.
Oh.
It has since become a cult film. No, I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, Life Force. Well, as a kid in the 80s and a teenager, I mean, pretty girl in just naked most of the movie. I'm like, I didn't mind it so much. That's what I loved about most 80 films, all the gratuitous nudity they had in many of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. I'm looking at shots from the movie. It's pretty good makeup. I don't know what it looks like in motion, but...
Yeah. Well, and then it wasn't before movies were infected with heavy CGI, too, so...
And, I know I already mentioned that, I went to school to learn CGI, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it's overused, and I think they're way too reliant on it because the human eye, the human brain really knows when it's real. And there's just something more real, i.e. better, about like practical effects. And I see in some of these movies, they rush the effects. I can tell because older movies look, the CGI looks better.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no replacement. I mean, yeah, computers get faster. You can put more people on it, but there's no replacement for time. You need all the passes to make it look right. And there's a couple of big budget movies where bad CG kind of kills it in the end. And one of those, in my opinion, is Black Panther. Yeah. That fight. Yeah. I don't know if you agree. But that fight near the end, where they're in their suits and they're fighting in the magnetic levitating train track, it's just it could have been a lot better.
I think I've watched Black Panther a total of 2 times. I don't think I've seen it more than the time that I saw it in the theaters and the time that I brought it home on Blu-ray.
Well, that's one more than me. I mean, I enjoyed it, but you know, what more am I going to get out of it from a second watching? You know, you watch a Kubrick film like 11 times and you're getting new stuff
Right.
every time.
Although, I often put on movies that I've seen many times, like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. But those movies are so long. They just age to help me sleep now. Sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, I guess that's a different kind of rewatchability because it just feels so good, you know, to watch some of those movies. So even if you know every beat,
Yeah.
it just feels good to see it again.
Uh-huh.
It's funny. I've watched Star Wars so many times, but every time I watch it, I notice little things that like I had forgotten about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not like, you know, complex metaphorical analysis. Just I don't know, like little shots here and there, little movements, lines of dialogue. And that's one of my most seen movies. Carlo asks, do you remember when you thought older CGI special effects looked amazing, but now it just looks blocky? Like your imagination helps improve the CGI? Sometimes.
Well, one of the movies they were talked about that should or should not be remade was The Last Starfighter or Tron. I enjoy, and those weren't CGI; those were just effects that they had in the day. I enjoyed the special effects from The Last Starfighter and Tron.
Mm-hmm. Well, the light cycles were CGI in Tron, but it was like a different process back then. It was Boolean.
Well, it was basically animation.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, the technique they used for modeling back then, it wasn't quite like it is now. They didn't have all the tools for like polygon modeling. So what they would do is Boolean modeling, where sort of like you can add and subtract things. So if you have like a big sphere, and then you put like a smaller sphere or a cylinder on either side of it, you can cut it out. You can cut out the space of that other shape, and it'll leave you with something, with a different shape, instead of just like pushing and pulling and extruding. They would do so. It was a different technique that they used to use. Yeah. So in a way, it's not analog because there's a certain charm to analog technology. So it's not quite like that same charm, but there is a certain charm to the Boolean modeling that they used in Tron. But yeah, like you said, a lot of it was not CGI, and everything had to be layered up so much that it would make the film look really dark. The Last Starfighter had such a low budget, yet worked so hard and showed so much heart.
Yeah.
Still one of Bubba's favorite.
Yeah, how would you guys feel about a remake? What do you think it would be improved as a remake?
Not if they made it right now.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. Or I wouldn't make a remake. I'd make a sequel.
Okay.
A sequel would be good if the right person did it.
Well, sometimes
I'm for hire, Holly Weird. Good trick. Amazing.
Sometimes I like being wrong, and so sometimes I think that a remake is not needed, or will ruin it. But it turned out to be good. Like Battlestar Galactica. Remember when that was first about to come out? I was like, oh, great. They completely reimagine it. So they, even back then, I was like, oh, they're going to take something good and completely change it. and it's going to be something else. Yeah, and oh, they made Starbuck a girl now, and but that's like 2004, and I watched it, and I was wrong about everything, but I was glad because that show's great.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Even though I think it's now would be a bad time to remake a movie like The Last Starfighter. When you're skeptical, sometimes it's nice to be wrong.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Bubba. Would be cool with a sequel if it was willing to stay respectful. And Carlos says, as long as it was a word-for-word remake with modern effects would be good, but that'll never happen. Same with Logan's Run.
Yeah, Logan's Run.
Yeah, Logan's Run does feel like a movie that they just wouldn't be able to get right if they remade it now. Do you remember the remake of Total Recall?
Oh, God. That was horrible.
I know, right?
That was so horrible. I hated everything about that movie. I hate everything about it. Even the casting. I'm like, really? Colin Farrell and her? Just shoot me now.
I don't really like Colin Farrell in much of anything, except maybe in Bruges. But
the only role I ever liked him in was when he played Bullseye.
Oh yeah,
in Daredevil. I thought he was so awesome in that.
Right, but because he's always an asshole. But Bullseye was an asshole. Totally worked. Yeah. When I see him as like a hero, I usually am not that into it. But even though I love Kate Beckinsale and I think she's super sexy, she didn't outdo Sharon Stone.
No. It wasn't even the same movie. It was like just what are they? This is no.
They didn't even go to Mars.
Yeah. I didn't. I'm like, and I thought it was too soon for them to be doing a remake of that film at the time when they did that.
Yeah, you hadn't even been 20 years yet. I'm sorry, you were saying?
Oh, here, Geek Hero Bubba said he was about to mention Bullseye. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that is a movie that I really liked when I saw it in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't seem to remember it as fondly anymore, but I definitely enjoyed it. And I thought Michael Clark Duncan made a great Kingpin.
Yeah, you just D-Day Doug, you just finished a newer Batman movie. Mentioned now that he was expecting. I don't know what to think from the Batman movie with the sparkly vampire guy as Batman.
Well, that's not out yet. Do you know which movie D-Day Doug watched? You said one newer Batman movie.
Hopefully, it would be the Christopher Nolan Batman series. I enjoyed all the Christopher Nolan Batman movies were, in my opinion, spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's the way to do Batman.
Bubba says Pattinson's too low energy for Batman.
Yeah. Too short, I think, too. Maybe. And the fact that he didn't want to work out to buff up to become Batman. Also, no, is that I'd like to see a Superman movie with Superman with even a trilogy, or another trilogy with just Superman. Well, and you can have crossovers with Batman, but make them good, for Christ's sake.
Right, but with Superman, you got to understand Superman, right? Like, Superman was sort of like, when I was a kid, it was hard for me to wrap my head around Superman because I, had already grown up with Batman, and Superman seemed like OP. So I was like, all right, well, he's like indestructible, and he's super strong, and it's like there's nothing he can't do. And so it was like I didn't get it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But Superman, it's especially with DC characters, it's about it's about what they represent, right? And
Yeah.
Superman is almost like a human metaphor, and he represents a set of values. And
Yeah.
of course, he can die, and he has died. But even more importantly, he has people that he cares about, and ultimately, he cares about doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not just about like, oh well, can Superman punch a planet in half, or will Darkseid's Omega beams actually make him bleed? It's not about that. Superman's story thrives when his power is useless or even a detriment to his goals. Yeah. Yep. There was an episode of the animated series where he gets thrown, I think, into the far future, and none of his powers work. And so he has to find a way, through this dangerous world and get back home to his time without the use of his powers. Oh yeah, and he's weak to magic. So when it comes to like Mr. Mixie-Spitlick, he always has to outsmart him.
Yeah.
And so then what villain do you use for a Superman movie? And what do Superman's villains represent?
I love Gene Hackman's portrayal of Lex Luthor. He's, in my opinion, personal opinion, he's the best. He's been the best Lex Luthor I've seen on screen. Justice League Untamed.
Unlimited. Yeah. Yeah, that's the that was the animated series that had the episode I was talking about, not the Superman Adventures.
Oh, okay. There's several that I gotta watch that are on HBO Max. I have to watch.
Yeah, they got a lot of DC content on HBO Max. I was just noticing that.
Yeah. Well, if it's part of Warner Brothers. Yeah.
Right, but I didn't know they made that many animated films.
Yeah, I know. There's quite a few.
They even have one with Superman and Captain Marvel.
Really?
I only watched the beginning of it, where like Billy's a kid, and Clark takes him out for lunch, and he's like,
the last one I watched was Red Sun, and that one was really good.
Ooh, I gotta watch that one.
Yeah, that one was really good. I enjoyed that one. There's a movie that came out like a couple of years ago. Maybe it was 2019. What if Superman was bad?
Brightburn?
Brightburn, yeah. they don't associate him with being Superman, but you know it's the character of Superman if he was bad, you know, and evil.
Right.
So I really, at first, I didn't like it, but on the second viewing, I was like, this movie's great. I didn't realize how much I like this movie. It's, like I've there's some horror movies that I didn't like when I first saw them, but then I was like, you know what? Those were really good, you know. Tomorrow night, but I am hosting a watch party for the Evil Dead 2. Anybody's welcome to come join and watch on. Or
What time are you doing that?
I do that at 10 p.m. Pacific, about 12
1 a.m.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, hold on. Carlos says he's a Super Saiyan. How many Saiyans does it take to change a light bulb? I don't know, Carlo. How many Saiyans does it take to change a light bulb?
What's that, B? Your arm was wrapped. You had. I don't know what you're talking about, B. Well, good to see you. Yeah, I'm going to be doing what I call Buckets of Blood theater on Tuesday nights and Friday nights. Kind of a midnight type movie. Anyway, just because I have access to certain horror movies and I enjoy the horror movies, so doing that. Telling a very sad story. Okay. Time to go? Yes, it's time to go for us too. Because we're at the 3.5 hour mark and I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we can keep this up much longer. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, and I got to go to bed too.
Yeah, okay.
Praise the soup.
Yeah. And enjoy a good brew with Captain Trek, as always.
Mm-hmm.
Buckets of Blood Tuesdays. Yeah. That's what I'm calling it. That's the name I lend it. Buckets of Blood Theater. I just wanted, yeah. And thank you again, Frog G. So thank you, Darius.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Well,
Thanks for the soup.
Yeah. I'll be back on Wednesday night on the soup. So tomorrow night, Tuesday/Wednesday. So it'll be Wednesday/Thursday morning for the next soup.
Right on. Okay. All right. Well, have a good night, sir.
Yep. Everybody, thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you on the next one. Later, folks.